Alright, we're good.
Be like,
Bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
We're rolling. We are rolling. We were just listening to the guitar solo from Leonard Skinner, Freebird, which we will talk about in this podcast. Might need to be added to the national anthem. We'll get to that in just a minute. What I want to get to right now is the most American truck ever made, and that's the Chevy Silverado. I just got myself a text. It's probably from my Canadian wife. Let's see here. Presented by our good friends at Chevy. Playoff season reminds us that every weekend counts, dude. Also, so sad. Playoffs are over. But there's more sports like hockey. To help you pack your more into your weekend, Chevy is packed more into the Silverado Trail Boss. More capability, more muscle, more smarts. I thought they were describing me for a second. Pause for laughter. Pause for laughter. All right. We're talking about the Chevy Silverado Trail Boss, the truck that says no to nothing. Tailgates, road trips, DIY projects like transforming an old bus into a recording studio? Maybe. Bring it on. Will Compton himself, he always says in his Chevy Silverado, what's he say to himself? He says, bring it on. That's what he says. That's because the Silverado Trail Boss has everything you need for anything for the weekend calls for. With 495 pounds per feet of torque, the Z71 suspension has a 2-inch factory lift. The Trail Boss has top-tier strength and agility. Paired with the latest truck tech inside and out, the result is a truck that can do it all. Then show up on Monday with stories for ages. So learn more about the Silverado Trail Boss at Chevy.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Speaking of driving, we're going to get into, so the boys have had a hell of a season. Football season is behind us. It's lightly in the rearview mirror of our Chevy Silverados. It was a fantastic fall. Ended with a little bit of a bump in the road with New Orleans. We went over that 2 weeks ago, or last week, my God. Will comes on the show, has himself a little breakdown of the Super Bowl. I did not watch that. I had my own opinions of it. Here's my short opinion. I'll give it to you real quick. Here's a Spark Note version. Philadelphia Eagles, absolutely hammer fucked them boys from Kansas City. Tough to see. Obviously, everyone saw me absolutely, their words, not mine, glazing Patrick Mahomes, that little thing. I think he's a stud. He's the baby GOAT. I think Travis Kelce hopefully comes back for 1 year, gets what's right, because you never want to see a guy go off on the wrong foot when he's already won so many Super Bowls. But the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely dominated their performance. They own the trenches inside and out, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but also on the defensive side of the ball. So congratulations to them. Mitch saw me put in a nice little big bet for the Kansas City Chiefs. Guess what, Mitch? Lost it. Lost all that money. I put a big bet in too. Big boy bet. 3-peat. Would love to see it. All those things. Guess what? Got hammer fucked on that one. One thing you can't get hammer fucked on is Bert Kreischer. My God, 325-pound bench press. That's a PR for not only him, but maybe most of the world. He did 320. That was the bet. He said, that was so nice. We're going to do it twice. So we put 5 more pounds on and did that. So with that being said, he's having himself a Las Vegas show, Double Down. It's March 21st and 22nd at Resorts World in Las Vegas. I will not be there, but I wish I was, because everybody knows how much I love Las Vegas. And then we said that we were going to talk about his tour. Oh, you can get tickets at bert's.com. So Bert times 3.com. That's where you can get your tickets. We did say that we were only going to promote his tour. I see here there's another dot on here about his 2 Bears 5K. That's in May 4th at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. And you can register at 2bears5k.com. Early bird prices ends March 28th. Didn't know I was doing 2 promos for Bert. Sounds like his little team went in there and snuck one under the rug on us a little bit.
We need to talk to his team.
Got to talk to his team, because that's a twofer. And one of the core values of Bussin' with the Boys is no free shout-outs. But that being said, the 2 Bears 5K May 4th in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. Register now at 2bears5k.com. Early bird pricing ends March 28th. We love Bert. We love Segura. We love the Bears. We love all those guys. So please do us a favor. Buy all the tickets. And let them know when you're sitting in Resorts World on March 21st and 22nd, you start just chanting, the boys. The boys. The boys. So they know that this promo got you there. Even if it didn't, you happen to watch the show as well and you already got your tickets, go ahead and do that again for a second time. Now, boys, I'm in a great mood today. I don't know if you guys know this, but I married a Canadian. 8 years I've been married, and I'm on April 20th, 420, will be 9 years married to this woman. A quick spark notes. I guess that's my trend on this podcast. Taylor and I met early January back in 2016. 5 weeks later, we're engaged. April 20th, we decided to get married. So that's how quickly our relationship started. I've known her for 8 years. We've been married for 8 years. About to be married for 9 years. So I've known her for about 9 years now. Love this woman. She's incredible. One of the best people we've ever, you guys know Taylor. You guys love Taylor. If you don't love Taylor, keep those words to yourself. Like she's amazing. So every year we go up to Canada, and we know this break was coming for the Super Bowl. And there was talks, hey, should we go to Norway? Maybe go see some orcas, go to Iceland. My wife's always wanted to go to Iceland. What if we do this exotic trip and have a little bit of fun? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't get to see Taylor's family very much. So I want to go up to Canada. I want to go up to British Columbia, Canada, see the family. And my wife's like, are you sure? The weather, it's awful up there. It's going to be the worst week of the year, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. We end up going, and it was phenomenal. It was great to see all of her family members. A couple bad eggs here and there, but what family, you got to have little sparks here and there. You got to go back and forth. It was great to see everybody. It was like 6 days of just mass chaos. Let's see this person. Let's see that person. But every person I go to see, every person, there's a whisper. There's always a lull in the conversation. They say to me, America plays Canada on Saturday. Excuse me, what was that? You guys haven't beat us since 1996. I'm just letting you know that America plays Canada, because there's always this back and forth. I get a little more prideful when I'm out of my country lines. I step into Canadian land. I try to plant my flag figuratively, not literally just yet. I sit there and I tell, hey, you guys have a lot of taxes up here, huh? We don't have that many taxes. Oh, you guys can't carry guns? We can carry guns, Yeah, we had a couple problems here and there, but we get to do that. So there's always a nice little fun back and forth. But they start clamoring. They start chirping a little bit. Connor Gallagher, shout out the Gags. We're at Turtle Bay. He's got himself his 30th birthday party on Valentine's Day of all places. And a bunch of family members come. Everyone's boozing. Everyone's doing muff divers, having a great time. We're like the only people in the bar, really. And, there's a couple of clamoring. Hey, Canada, we're playing America. We're playing America. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't know anything about this. Turns out, for the All-Star break, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't looked too deeply into this, but this Four Nations tournament thing is new. Like, this is the first time they've done it, correct? I'm getting some head shakes in the back, but nothing verbal.
Correct.
Okay, that's correct.
And I heard this morning it was to help promote the Olympics coming up.
Right, because they in the last Winter Olympics, they said nay, because of the COVID thing.
Yep.
Everyone was wearing the mask. They said nay to the Winter Olympics. They said, we're going to get away from that thing. So now, so many years later, we're promoting it. And now, we got Canada versus America. I started doing a little bit of a deep dive into our America team. Word on the street is this is the best team anybody's ever seen. They have a team from 1996 when they beat Canada in the last international game they've ever played. They would probably have something to say about that. But that being said, this America team, apparently from all four corners of the United States of America, these boys are coming together and they're about to do a little damage out here. Austin Matthews, Scottsdale, Arizona, captain of Team USA. Now, let me tell you, Canada, where you fucked up just a little bit. I'm going to let you know where you fucked up. Yeah, your whole country is within 100 miles of the U.S. border. I get it, because up there is a frozen tundra. We got a lot of stuff going on there. And you guys live, eat, and breathe hockey. When I went to Canada, ponds everywhere, lakes everywhere, frozen over. You see little kids, 4 or 5 years old. They're out there already dangling. But now you get a lot of these pros that come into the NHL. What do they do when they retire? They go to Florida. They go to Arizona. So now you got like Shane Doan, Austin. I don't know who his dad is, but like the Kachuk family, a whole bunch of ex-hockey players are now finding themselves in the desert, playing at the ice den, just off the 101. These kids are growing and playing. They come from a little bit of a hockey background. So this is where you fucked up. You let us have your players. They got down here in America and they thought to themselves, this is nice. I like being a part of this. I got my green card. Let me just keep it where it's at right here. And so now Arizona, destination area if you want to be a legit hockey player. Florida, destination area if you want to be a legit hockey player. The Northeast, we already seen Ryan Whitney. That boy's an absolute stud. Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, is the only place in the entire country you can go play high school hockey and actually get a scholarship for. So Minnesota's got that laid down. The USA junior team, you know where they're at? Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's where they hang out at. A lot of these cats in the US team were on the University of Michigan. One individual scored a couple of goals yesterday. He was also on the team of the University of Michigan. So I start to get excited. I start to get amped up. I see Ryan Whitney on Spit and Chicklets telling Paul Biznetti, who is a Canadian, their time has come. It's over. We have caught up to you. Not only have we caught up to you, we are about to supersede you as the greatest hockey country in the world. So that gets me a little juiced up. Shout out Ryan Whitney on that. Shout out Spit and Chicklets, all those beautiful boys. I start diving in. I start looking into it. I'm starting to like it. I'm waiting at my gate in Seattle. So I fly from Kelowna to Seattle. I'm waiting in Seattle. Lady gets over the intercom and she goes, just so you guys know, the weather's so bad in Nashville, we might have to divert you in a different area. And now we're going to play a little game of follow the bouncing ball here, because I'm thinking to myself the minute that happens, if I get diverted, I hope to God it's New Orleans. And if it's not New Orleans, I'm going to go to New Orleans because I have to figure out whatever I did at that Vampire Boutique, because I got some bad omens going on. Luckily, I landed in Nashville, no problem. But as I'm getting on the plane is when the first part of the game is starting. So the first 9 seconds of that game, we saw 3 fights take place. So throughout I have spotty Wi-Fi on the plane. I pay the $8. I went the extra mile and I paid the $8. I'm sitting in the back of the plane. We're bouncing up and down like a roller coaster on that thing, absolutely torquing like it's the WAP video in the back of that plane. And I'm watching these boys from the USA grind their faces off. I'm watching these guys dangle. Take this guy, Connor McDavid, whoever that is, whoever that guy is. I'm talking about his speed, his athleticism, his handles, his ability, all these things. I'm watching 2 guys get him in the corner and Eiffel Tower his ass while he's getting ponied over the top, falling on his ass. I'm seeing Kachuk boys like the Bash Brothers from Mighty Ducks going in, running Canadian cats into the boards, no problem. Now, this McDavid cat, who people are whispering about, apparently he's pretty good. He scores a goal quickly. My heart sinks because I know there's a bunch of beautiful people in Canada right now that are kind of hoping America goes down. That's okay. That's part of the fun rivalry I have with Taylor's family. But then the boys go, not 1, not 2, but 3 unanswered. 3 goals unanswered. The boys are playing such good defense. They're sitting back in the third period toying with them Canadian cats. Toying with them. Go ahead and use your speed, kid. Go ahead with those gray area turnovers. Because guess what? Between the 2 blue lines, we're getting that puck. You guys want to come over on this side of the ice? You're going to catch yourself a couple of fists. You're going to catch yourself a couple of hip checks in the corner. Hey, enjoy this little mitten into your jaw a little bit. How's that taste, buddy? So 3 periods of dominance. 1 small little lapse from this McDavid character, but 3 periods of dominance. And then I find out even more, dude. I don't get to see the national anthem take place. I don't get to see the governor or the prime minister of Canada sitting in his seat, booing as well with the rest of the Canadian folks in Montreal. Away game, by the way. Away game. You got a military cat sitting there with a microphone in his hand, and he's singing the United States of America's national anthem, and you have the audacity, nay, the disrespect to go and boo your brother, your neighbor, someone who's going to sit there and say, I got your back no matter, don't worry about having your own military. We're going to protect you, no problem. And you want to boo the boys? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, personally, as a fan of sports, I love it. It does juice me up a little bit. It gets me fired up to see like this rivalry, this banter back and forth. But a lot of people are like, this guy Trump, this big scary orange man. Listen, the national anthem is not about the president of the United States. It's not even about the people, the citizens of the United States. No, it's much bigger than that. It's the men and women who have fought and died for this country to make sure that this freedom, although you might think it's free, it costs lives. So we get after it every single day, and we put our hand over our hearts every single time the national anthem comes up. We take our caps off. We keep our feet at 10 and 2, and we let them know, hey, we got you, brother. We might not be on the battlefield with you, but we're thinking about you every step of the way. So, Canada, I love you. I'm a huge fan of the West Coast part. I don't know the other parts. But you mess with the bull, you get the horns a little bit, right? that what happens? Mitch, do you disagree?
I completely agree.
Completely agree.
If I were you and you were still with Talon when the national anthem came on and they started booing, I would have swung.
I'd have to swing at her. I don't want to swing on my wife. I love my wife. I've already said she's the greatest human being I have truly ever met.
But that's straight disrespect.
Straight disrespect. But you know what's beautiful? 3 goals unanswered. That's beautiful. Freebird playing every time a goal is scored. That's beautiful. The Kachuk brothers putting belt the ass on those boys at the start of the game. That is beautiful. Sidney Crosby, an incredible individual. He's one of the GOATs of hockey, right? I'm not fully versed in the world of hockey. However, I do know enough to know that Sidney Crosby is incredible. 26 games he's played international games. You know what his record was?
25-0.
26-0. He has a point differential of like plus 85. Now, my understanding of the plus minus thing is if you're on the ice and the other team scores, that's -1 for you. If you're on the ice and your team scores, that's +1 for you. So on and so forth. You find out your numbers the more games you played. He is in a plus differential. That is absolutely insane. And that first score that happened, bad pass by Sidney Crosby. Gray area turnover. Looks like the GOAT got. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say about that. I do love Canada. I do. What we got? We got an Amber Alert. Here I am trying to pump up America, and we're getting an Amber Alert.
I was seeing on the
that is crazy.
To lighten the mood a little bit from that little alert, but I did see on Twitter everyone saying thanks to Sidney Crosby, all the Canadian kids grew up wanting to be Sid.
Yeah,
they have 0 goalies, and it shows.
Beautiful. Yeah, dude. I was on the phone with my wife before. Talking about, I was like, hey, just so you know, like when I get on this podcast, Canada's going to catch hands a little bit. And she's like, be nice. Don't go too far. Nope. Got to. Our show.
Think again.
This is what happens.
Like
and if you don't
Freebird.
like what I'm saying, sweetheart, beat us. Beat us, sweetie. Because I love it. I love it because I love seeing the passion from Canadian fans as well. In my inbox, I feel like I just played Ohio State again. My team just played Ohio State again, where Ohio State fans are there. Well, you're a piece of shit. Remember what you said about this? Remember your freshman year of college? All these different things. And they're going crazy on me, and I love it because it's like, hey, you win, you get to talk shit. If you don't win, guess what? Keep your mouth shut and let the big boys talk. Let the big boys whisper a little bit.
We will know by the end of today if we get a rematch.
Which would be awesome. So, yeah, we were talking about this before the show. There is a couple of scenarios. Canada obviously has to win, but we're already in the championship, and we have to play Sweden.
Correct.
We have to play Sweden, and for Canada to get in, we have to beat Sweden.
Or tie them.
Now, if I'm America, I would love to see Canada again. I would love to go back, play in Boston, home turf, and get after them boys again. That would be all time.
As soon as they say, okay, boo.
Dude, so I kind of hope there's 2 different thoughts that go in my head when it comes to like booing the national anthem. One, part of me is like, yes, boo, oh Canada, or start singing the American national anthem while "Oh Canada's" being sang. And I think that's an incredible chirp. I think that's good, clean fun. I think it's hilarious that I just said it's good, clean fun, even though if you do it to America, it's like, oh, disrespectful?
It is.
Yeah, but it is. Because why? Because I was born here. So that's why I got to have pride in my country a little bit, right? But it would be classy. It would be straight class.
To do nothing. Yeah, but we ain't doing that.
That might shock them. Canada might walk in there and be like, boys are going to boo us. We got to fight right after. You know how it is. We know we're boys. We're going to get after their asses, all right? Yeah? Poutine and beating ass is what we're going to do. And they go out there, national anthem, and they don't boo at all. They're thrown off. Boys are discombobulated now. I mean, think about it, G, right?
I mean, I'm just thinking of all the ammunition that they just put on us.
I know. It's beautiful, dude.
They got to win to get to Boston, and there's no way they're walking in there and shit's not going down.
I love this passionate rivalry that's happening between America and Canada. I think it's awesome. I think it's fun. I think if they get the best of us, I'm going to have a flood of texts from the Gallaghers and the Whitfield just telling me, you guys are bombs, you're this, you're that, and I'll embrace it. I'll embrace that with open arms. But as of right now, as of today, February, whatever it is, America is the best country at hockey in the entire world, and you can't even argue it. It's not even worth arguing. But what about the last 26 years, Taylor? Well, you're only as good as your last game, right?
Also, no better city to send the Canadians to than
Boston.
Boston.
Dude, I was trying to explain that to my wife. I was like, Boston is such a unique place because it's like, it's the Northeast, but there's like so many blue collar, patriotic motherfuckers out there that just go so hard for their country. And you know, all their blood is boiling. They're happy about the win that America got over Canada, but more than anything, they're pissed off about the booing that took place.
Oh, yeah.
The booing's wild. That's crazy. And it's going to happen in Boston. You have no one to blame but yourself, Canada.
You've watched the clip?
Oh, I've watched the clip.
I mean, it was the whole arena. It wasn't just a couple people booing.
Right.
It was the whole arena.
And I've seen a bunch of man on the street stuff too, where people are like, "How do you feel?" Like they're in Montreal or wherever they're at, and they're like, "How do you feel about American hockey?" They're like, "Oh, hey, fuck American hockey." They're going crazy on us. They're losing their minds on us. 3-1. Jack, did you watch the game? Yeah. Dominance. Absolutely beautiful. And I don't know, like, go ahead. That's it. All right, that's all he's got.
Yes.
Jack
I
loves
watched
it.
the game.
Jack loved it. He watched the game. It was absolutely beautiful. I think what we need to do is, do you know how like the Quakers, when they first got to America, they like went on a mission to like spread religion throughout America, and like Mormons go on their they go on missions right at 18, and they go to different places to like make people, hey, you should believe in Mormonism. America should do missions to other countries to teach football. That's what we should do. So we can develop, well, even more than we do now, if we do it at all. We need to develop other countries in football more so that somebody can get good enough to play us so we can just beat them. I want this international fight on the gridiron. Yes. I want 60 minutes of international American League football going fucking hard. I love it. And Canada, since we're on the subject of Canada, they need to change their rules to American League rules so they can just get better at that. Their field's longer, it's wider. It's like a pass punt league. There's only 3 downs. It's kind of crazy. They need to just go to American rules and get good enough so we can send our boys over the lines and put belt to ass real quick.
Give John Gruden 3 years in another country. 3 years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it would be a good football team. I can
that'd be
guarantee
a
that.
good hard-nosed ball club, no doubt about it.
All the people that play in Canada are American players that couldn't make it in the NFL. So
That is true. And being in BC, shout out the Okanagan Sun. They have themselves a nice little football team. They actually play American rules as well. But I want some more development. I don't know what we're putting in our food. I don't know if Bobby Kennedy's going to stop that stuff from getting in our food or what the deal is. But we need to put whatever's in our food up in other countries so these guys can get bigger, stronger, faster as well, and we can go play on the gridiron for 60 minutes.
Also, shout out, no free shout out, Japan has a sneaky good football system that's been growing in their country for a while.
Love that.
Now. Yeah.
Line it up. I don't know how good they are. I mean, there's no Japanese. I think we got a kicker on the Falcons, Koo. But also don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know if he's Japanese or not.
Yeah,
I don't know what he is.
Maybe not NFL quality, but
right.
they have a league with a Super Bowl. They have multiple national teams of like multiple age groups. There is a passion for it,
yes.
which we want to celebrate. That's
right.
our mission to spread that.
Yep. That's our mission to celebrate and expand the football mind. So yeah, Japan, line it up.
It would be kind of nice if they did adapt football because maybe they could play when it's our off season.
Yeah.
So we have football year round.
Year round. That would be great to see.
Yeah.
Now, if we were to do international games, will we let our pro football players play, or will we do like
college
players,
Bro,
college all-star?
I'll go play.
Mitch, you would be probably a first-round draft pick for this.
I would.
You volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute to put stars and stripes on me, and let me show international people how American football
That's how a white man runs a football. As you're trying to say?
Say yes, but without saying that.
Yeah, I'm with that. All right, Mitch is in. We need 52 other guys. We got one. We need 52 other hard-nosed motherfuckers to get out there.
I can recruit.
You can recruit?
I can recruit. I know some. I know some buddies. I got Davey up in Philly. I know he'll play. I got some.
Davey up in Philly. He's in.
He eats, sleeps, and breathes football. I guarantee you he would suit it up for me.
Yeah? Is he good, though?
Oh, yeah. He was a captain with me at Susquehanna football.
A captain?
So, I mean.
That's what we should do. Until, no disrespect by what we're about to say, until other countries can line it up with the big boys, we should be doing D2, D3 football boys against them and just punish them.
D3 football could wipe out international teams, without a doubt. I have no...
A D3 All-Star.
Not even watching film.
No, my Susquehanna football team could go overseas and play this Japan national team. We'll probably 28 them in the first.
We should do
half.
U.S. versus the world then. Like maybe the world gets their best football players
I think we're
versus our football players.
I think we are forgetting that we got dog walked in that U20 tournament, the World Cup, the U20 football World Cup. We didn't even medal. We got fourth.
Bishop Sycamore going to play and represent the
yeah,
U.S.
can I ask you a question? Sherm?
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you doing bringing that up on the show?
Well, I'm saying that we need to be better in international play. We can't just send whoever, because like Mitch said, it was a bunch of people whose daddies were paying for them to be on the team.
So you're saying Davey from Philly should not be in it?
No. What I'm saying, what I was saying, I had a buddy who played on the USA team, or he was on Susquehanna. You don't get picked to be on that team. You pay to be on that team. So you're getting these
it's all
kids
making
that
sense now.
just, like Sherm said, daddy's money. They're paying you, or paying for you to be on that team to go play internationally. It's not like they're getting picked because they're good.
Could you imagine Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase playing on that team?
Dogs.
Over. See ya. It's done. I do love just all this international stuff. I fucking love it, dude. I wish football was in a place where it could do that. It seems like hockey has really figured out how to do all-star weeks. Because the NBA All-Star, I don't follow NBA as much as I should. I'm probably going to start doing that this offseason, trying to figure it out. What's a double dribble? What's a travel? What are all those things? I'm going to learn that, and we're going to dive in because I like to start betting on some football, on some basketball. But like, I watched the skills challenge, and I don't remember the two guys that did it, but like, you're supposed to shoot like 9 3-pointers, and it's all for time. And they, instead of shooting it, they just kind of like threw the ball out 3 times, which I get. Strategically, you're trying to do your best you possibly can to win it in a time frame, but let's have a little more entertainment. Oh, who is this spicy white boy?
Mac McClung.
Mac McClung? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep.
Mac McClung.
Mac McClung.
Yep.
Guy's got the southern fuckboy haircut, and he jumps over a car and dunks.
What's crazy is he's in the G League. He doesn't even really.
Oh, they just called his ass up for this. Like, hey, we need some bunnies out here
because he won last year.
Is this the best year for white athletes of all time right now? I mean, McClung having himself a day at the dunk competition. We got the exciting whites in the Super Bowl. One gets himself a pick 6. Cooper DeJean.
USA Hockey?
USA Hockey. All whites. I mean, we might be on a generational run, boys. Let's not make it racial, but it's a big deal.
Biggest trade in NBA history.
Luka.
White guy.
NBA history. Biggest trade. White guy. But a white guy. Garrett mumbles under his breath. Well, he didn't have the microphone. He says European. I get it. I get it. But also white guy. That's a nice little deal, right? I'm not saying we're going to be on top forever, but it's nice to just be on the peak of something for a little bit.
We're having a moment.
Let
us have a moment.
We're going to have a moment. Trust me. We're not going to be here for long. we will not be here for long. But it's nice to be here right now. So yeah, dude, the break was nice. It was nice to be up in Canada. It was nice to be hanging out with my wife's family. They're awesome. They're so much fun to be around. I'll tell you what though, I've hit my threshold for the cold weather. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I want to move on from it. It was my idea to go up in Canada. But in those 6 days I was up there, I was like, I'm ready for it to be over. And I checked my little weather app, and Nashville's we're about to have snow on Wednesday. Yeah. Like, let's move on. They talk about climate change. Let's change the climate. How do we get rid of snow altogether? Is that bad for the world? Is that bad? Yes. That's bad for the world.
Yes, that's bad for the world.
Fuck.
We wouldn't have rivers or
what about rain?
Stuff. I mean,
we'll just supplement the snow for the rain. We're good.
Then that means a lot of rain.
Yeah.
All right.
You would have rain over just cold.
I'd rather have a t-shirt on and be wet than have 4 coats on and be cold. That's what I would rather have. But yeah, if there's a way to not like just nuke the earth and have no snow, I'd sign up for that.
You might be in the minority for that.
That's okay. I can be in the minority for this. I can be in the minority. I'm okay with being
That's a desert
standing
rat.
alone. Yeah. Listen, I grew up in Arizona. I know what it's like to have sun every single day. It's fantastic. And the good thing about Arizona is they must have done something with the weather because they just pick like a month out of the year where it rains every single day. And then we move on. See you later. We got rivers, man-made. We got lakes, man-made, but we're still here. You know? Anyway, boys. How was your break? What'd y'all do?
You want to do an ad?
Oh, let's do an ad. Should we do Dove's Men? Talk about Dove's Men? Are you afraid of taking off your shoes when entering your friend's house? Getting nervous your team is down at halftime? Tackle whole body odor with Dove Men's Plus Care Whole Body Deo. This whole body deo defends against all your odor zones, from pits to privates to feet, and it's long-lasting for 72-hour odor protection. Find Men Whole Body Deo at Walmart today. Beautiful, wonderful, graceful. I'm getting better at these ad reads.
You are.
It is, but it's all about having this sheet 2 inches from my face, which Mitch told me.
Well,
it's not a good look visually for the viewer.
You said after the Super Bowl, when's your eye doctor appointment?
Yep, and I thought about this morning. I had a parent-teacher conference today. I was driving up there solo because my family's still in Canada. Very intimidating experience, by the way. Being like just the dad at the parent-teacher conference. It's way shorter than when my wife comes with me. How's everything going? Good. All right. See you guys later. Let's move it on. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I think this week I need to text somebody. This week, my goal is to text somebody. The following week, act on that text. The following week from that, get an appointment set up. So I have a 3-week span here when it comes to my eyes because they need to be fixed. Absolutely. But anyway, boys, sure, we'll start with you. We'll be doing the break, dude.
Okay, so mine might be the most boring, so we'll just get it knocked out quick.
Knock it out.
Didn't travel anywhere,
Okay.
but we are getting the nursery ready for the baby girl that's on the way. So we're moving everything from the downstairs guest bedroom. We have kind of like a little attic / loft bedroom upstairs. So we're moving all the furniture upstairs, getting it cleared out for the nursery. I surprise built the crib while Jill was out of the house, so she came home to that. Put a little Valentine's Day balloon in the crib.
Very nice.
Crushed it.
Did it pay off?
It paid off.
Nice.
It paid off.
Nice.
Paid off. Maybe not in that way, but
okay.
Happy wife, happy life.
As the old phrase goes, absolutely.
So that was really it. If that tells you how boring my week was.
I love it, dude. Getting set up for a baby, it's exciting.
It was fun.
You're excited about the future. I'm letting you know your hours are about to change quite a bit. I'm happy for you, though.
Thank you.
Mitchie, what we do, baby? What was our little break like?
I went down to Chattanooga.
The Nougat.
Yeah, my girlfriend is on her rotation down there for PA school. Chattanooga rips. It's a cool little, it's obviously a city, but it's like a big town, and it's a vibe. There's a bunch of stuff to do. Like it's super walkable. Very granola. Bunch of granola.
Okay.
Like your mountain men up there with long beards, like kind of straggly. But it was cool. That was my first time in the Nougat, and I enjoyed it. I definitely will be going back. It's a vibe.
What's the place we went to in the Nougat where it was that sandwich spot? What's it called? Yellow Deli. Did you go there?
I did not. I went to this place called Needlavs. Guy, one of my buddies I live with, he goes there a lot for work. He has all the recommendation. Needlavs slaps. Did not go to Yellow Deli. Apparently, I think G was saying that it's like a famous spot.
Yeah, famous
down there.
Famous.
But
don't drink the Kool-Aid, but it's famous.
We went to this place called Waken Bakery.
What's that like?
Kind of exactly what it sounds like.
Did you get banged up?
No, I didn't, but you get a free pre-roll with your coffee. So
no shit.
Yeah, and you can get your coffee infused. There's one called like the double fuck it. You could get 100 milligrams of shit in it. Didn't do it.
Yeah. That sounds like death to me.
Yeah, but Chicago based, it was pretty cool.
The Waken Bakery.
Yeah, that is the exact place that we went to.
That's awesome.
It
You get
was
100 milligrams in your coffee?
Yeah.
That's like a vodka Red Bull on steroids, dude. That is just going to kill you.
It's called the double fuck it for a reason, but the person that worked there, like your stereotypical like beanie, like just kind of looked
white
like
guy with dreads.
It was a white girl, but
with dreads.
Yeah, and she was super nice. We chopped it up for her for a little bit, but yeah, Chattanooga rips.
She's probably rocking a poncho hoodie.
Yeah.
Had design tattoos on her hands.
Yep.
Nothing of substance.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I mess with that.
It was sick.
I mess with that, dude. Fuck yeah. Great trip. Good trip. Little trip to the Noogie.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. I like it. G baby, what we do? What we do? How was our break?
Break was good. I was here until Wednesday. My birthday was last Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So
Happy birthday, G.
chilled here. Wednesday went out to LA. It rained the first 2 days, so that kind of sucked. But got to see some friends, and then the sun came out on Friday, which was nice. Spent all day outside. Yeah, it was good. It was a good little reset. It's always nice to go out to the West Coast and, catch a vibe and then come home back to reality.
Dude, the West is still number one in my heart. I love the West so much. It's beautiful. It's more open, more things to do, rip around. It's fun. It's a good time.
We were in Silver Lake, Echo Park area, so kind of near Dodger Stadium, and then west of Hollywood, West Hollywood, and it was a
West
fun little
Hollywood.
neighborhood.
Got some boys buying you free drinks out there, huh?
No, we were not in West Hollywood.
Got you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it was kind of like an East Nashville vibe, so it was good.
I feel like LA is mostly East Nashville vibes.
Maybe. I feel like it's a lot of what can you do for me vibe.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
I haven't been out to LA so much. I've been out to more the
it
southern
felt
part
different.
of California.
Obviously we went a couple years ago, but pre-COVID, the vibe was just kind of weird, and now post COVID, it feels very chill.
Yeah,
it was nice, and no one does anything until 11 a.m. So
that's wild.
You get up, especially being used to our time. You get up early. You can go for a walk, get coffee, do whatever you want before anyone's even on the roads.
I mess with that.
Yeah, it was nice though.
I love it. Great little trip. Jackie boy.
I was also on the West Coast, not West Coast, but the Western mountain ranges, the Rocky Mountains. I was out in Breckenridge doing a little snowboarding.
Getting granola.
Yeah. Weather was pretty solid for the mountains. Last day was really cold. Got down, I think I woke up and it was -6. Then by noon it was 0. So it had a big cold front move in on our last day, but we got a little bit of snow one of the days. Conditions were good. Enjoy being out in Breck. Dude, I'll tell you what though,
oh shit, okay. Fuck.
No, I'm 30 now, and dude, 3 days of snowboarding hits different than it did when I was 21.
Dude, expand on that a little bit, because I agree 100% with you, but I want to know how your body feels.
It's just, I thought that it was going to take at least another decade for me to be I still have it. And I'm not saying I've lost it, but me and my buddy Tyler, who are out there, we're out there with a bunch of his work friends. Me and him have been snowboarding for a decade plus now. So we know we can ride any commercial lift in the world, I believe. We can
I don't
snowboard.
necessarily know what that means. I've never been snowboarding.
We can snowboard, but dude, after 3 days, my back and my legs, it was just I was hurting, just tired. And plus I came from New Orleans to Nashville, was in Nashville for a day, and then immediately out in the mountains. So just a lot of traveling around, plus just it's kind of hard on your body, but still had fun. And then on Thursday night, flew from Denver to Charleston for our buddy's bachelor party. So 2 straight weeks on the road. It was a lot, but by the time the last few days were there, I was finally hitting a relaxing point where I was just hanging with my buddies who I've known forever. So it was great. Love having the time off. I get guilty on vacations. I don't know about y'all, but it takes me a lot for me to be fully enjoying my vacations. I don't know what it is, but now we're back in Nashville, and I feel guilty I didn't enjoy my vacation as much, but...
Isn't that weird?
No, just kidding. But yeah, it was great. It was fun to get away, but it's good to see the boys again, and yeah, back in Nashville. It's going to snow again. So hopefully, I'm with you, though. I'm ready for the warm weather to
Gotta get the warm weather back, 100%.
I'm ready for it. So,
Sherm, your hand is raised.
Yes, sir. I had a question for Jack.
What's up?
Jack, how is Casa Bonita? That's one of my favorite places.
Holy shit, you went to Casa Bonita?
I didn't go in, so on our way back on Thursday, me and my buddy had a late flight. All the guys that were in Breckenridge with us, they had an early flight, so we were basically hanging out in Denver for the day. One of my buddy's younger brothers, Jack Hamlin, shout him out. He works for Matt and Trey, the guys who started South Park, and so he has worked on the development and all the stuff that's gone on with Casa Bonita.
Holy shit.
So I messed up and didn't hit him up earlier in the week, and I didn't realize. I mean, it's like a 3-month reservation list to get into Casa Bonita.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's you have to really fight to get in there. So we didn't actually get to eat in there, but we had time, and I was like, I have to see it in person. And what's hilarious is Casa Bonita is located on like North Colfax in Denver, and it's like a very sketchy area. And Casa Bonita is just in the middle of a strip mall. It's just this massive pink building. But it was cool just to see it.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah, it was cool just to see it. But whenever I go to Denver next, it'll definitely be on my to-do list because it's the happiest place on earth. So.
What makes me sick to my stomach is a couple years ago when we went to Denver, we were supposed to go to Boulder to interview Deion Sanders, and that ended up falling through. So we were just in Denver.
We could have
doing
done that.
nothing.
I
for
think
like
at that
24 hours.
time we were there, Casa Bonita was closed down. They had like a
COVID.
bit. They opened right before COVID, and then they had to close down, and then it took a lot for them to reopen, and almost like killed the whole business of it. But they did, so it's thriving now. And I mean, it's crazy. It looks like TSA out front, like going through. There's like 10 metal detectors and like a bunch of security guards, and people just kind of like lingering around. You don't know if they're waiting to eat or just looking for money, but.
Or just in a sketchy spot trying to figure out who's who in the zoo.
It's not the best area, but dude, it's a beautiful establishment. You walk up and it looks like a church, just pink, and it's huge. And
Never seen a pink church before, but I fuck with that idea.
Yeah, it was
Matt and
cool.
Trey had to save it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I went maybe 6 or 7 years ago, like right before they started shutting down. They were still doing the divers and stuff, so I got to experience that. But
yeah,
it was
definitely
crazy.
want to go back and check it out. It looks like an experience. But yeah, if you love South Park, you know what we're talking about. If not, Casa Bonita is a Mexican restaurant based through South Park. It's Carbon's favorite place, and then they made it to a real life thing. So I love something that they pull from Fantasyland and make something that's a physical brick and mortar establishment.
See, I did not know that. I thought Casa Bonita was already something.
Well, it was, but not to the extent that was in South Park. Like when I went there,
with like the divers, and
it was very run down. It was like it needed a facelift bad. They still had the divers, but it wasn't to the extent that they like show in South Park.
Got you.
Where like Cartman was like in this dream world, but apparently that's what it is now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, then you learn something new every day.
Beautiful. I'm glad you guys all had a great trip. That's outstanding. I'm going to look at my notes here real quick. Next on the docket, should we add the guitar solo to Freebird to the national anthem? I think that's I feel like it's a clear yes. I feel like if you just get to, and the home of the, that starts just going, and then they end with Brave. I feel like we can get petition signed for that.
I would love a 12-minute.
A 12-minute national anthem?
I even like the home of the brave, and then everybody starts going, yeah, and under the you just start hearing the dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I like that, dude.
I kind of like the idea of it starting with the bow 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 down down down, and then they start singing, and then it's just very faintly under there.
So you want like the Leonard Skinner song,
Yeah. Like
but the
no disrespect
vocals
to
of our
like
national anthem.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all.
Like how
I
you
kinda
normally
mess
have
with
like
that. Yeah.
no disrespect, bro, but
I think that, first off, I love this. We're officially in a brainstorm as a podcast. I think you do start to and then it just slowly fades into the start of Leonard Skinner.
and the spotlight just goes on that guy.
Yes.
Moves from the drum guy over.
Yes. And they just sing the song the way whoever the individual is singing wants to do it, their depiction of it, but in the same kind of rhythm of that. And I love the guitar solo being at the end, because think of how rock hard you would get if you are standing on the sideline of a football. I'm sorry, you're watching, hand over heart, hat off, listening to a guitar solo, and then a B-52 bomber comes over the top in the heat, the peak even of that guitar solo. Tell me you're not nutting right there, dude. Tell me you want to end people not being patriotic. Go ahead and do that.
Maybe Freebird plays until the kick or the puck drop.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
12 minutes.
12 minutes. You just keep that going. And then the coin flip's happening during the guitar solo. And then as soon as the puck drops, it's over. Buddy, We might have just done it on Bussin' with the Boys.
Make coin tosses way more fun.
Way more fun. Could you imagine being a captain walking out to the center field, trying not to just hit like one of those, just a little bit of hip shoulder movement while that guitar solo is going on after a B-52 bomber just flew by, trying to listen to the referee talk about heads or tails, flip that thing in the air? Buddy, that's what you want.
Did you say heads?
Well, yeah. He said heads. Crowd fucking cheers when you win it. And just some guy, long hair, long beard, in the corner shredding. Every once in a while, the big screen just goes to him. Comes back. Goes back to him. I love it. Anybody here say nay to that? Does anybody say nay? Jack? I just keep pointing at Jack.
We need
Jack,
to like edit it and then put it
Do
out.
I say nay?
Do you say nay?
Nay to your nay.
Hold on.
Nay to the
Here we
availability
go.
to even have a nay.
I'm not even
We're
considering
not
a
naying
nay.
here, is what I'm hearing.
What if we just only use Chris Stapleton's version
Okay.
with Freebird underneath?
Holy shit. Okay, here's what I do
It
not
brought
like.
tears.
Tears.
Think if you had Freebird.
Buddy, you're on to something special.
You're crying and rocked hard.
Right. But think about nothing better than being rock hard while tears streaming down your face. But I also would love to hear other people's interpretations of how they believe the national anthem should be said while Freebird is playing.
Yeah.
So like maybe we start off, maybe the first
Oh, I'm
5
saying,
years
like-
of the new national anthem is Chris Stapleton.
I'm saying like you search it on YouTube, like the OG, the one is Chris Stapleton's, but you still have
Yeah, I like that.
People.
Okay, I'm with everything you're saying. I'm with. I'm officially on board with that.
Mhm.
Can we? I don't know how AI really works, but can we get that dialed in?
I could
Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem to Freebird.
While we're talking about this, can we like get that hat off of Will's mic?
What the fuck is that, Sherm?
Will put that there.
You're lying. I saw you wearing that hat, looking at yourself before the show started. What are we doing?
That hat?
That hat.
During this conversation?
During this conversation,
I'd say throw it out.
I say throw it out.
it's got to go.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.
This is America.
Hepatitis. See you later.
I can't
It's got to get out of here.
Will wore that. Will actually
Will wore that. Yep. Communist Willie. He did
but
wear
who
that.
put it on his mic?
Who put it on his mic, Sherm?
I have no clue.
Sherm,
So you
don't do that.
Are, with a daughter on the way, you're gonna lie about this country?
Don't do that.
On Scarlet, I put it on the mic.
Scarlet's a beautiful name, by the way. I like Scarlet.
Thank you.
Scarlet Letter.
Speaking of Scarlet, did y'all watch SNL 50?
Dude, I didn't, but I'm going to watch it
You should.
tonight.
There's some good moments.
I'm solo at the house. I have nothing to do.
Insane FOMO. Everyone was there.
God.
Yeah, it just makes you be like, damn, I really should have tried harder to be a cast member when I was like 14.
Yeah. Should have gone to Second City in Chicago and hope you get to
Yeah, or
discover.
the Groundlings or whatever.
It was crazy.
I know. Apparently Taylor watched it last night because she called me this morning. She's like, I know what your next goal should be. I was like, oh, what is it, sweetie? She's like, you should try to be on SNL. I'm like,
Perfect.
sweetheart, do you understand like how many talented people are told no?
They had Ryan Reynolds there.
Ryan Reynolds did there to do a small little thing. Hilarious. Lil Wayne was there. Fucking, what's the guy? What's his, the guy from The Departed?
Well, which one?
Leo?
No.
Matt
The other
Damon?
one. No.
De Niro?
Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was there, dude.
Introduce Adam Sandler.
Introduced Adam Sandler.
Adam Driver was there.
And also Adam Sandler, my close friend, my close and personal friend. We spent time at Red Rocks together. Adam Driver. Can you pull up Adam Driver?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. The Sith
Kylo
Lord.
Ren from the
guy
new
in the
Star
hot dog.
Wars and
Come on, dude. You know I don't watch. Oh, him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Adam Driver, dude.
Eddie Murphy?
Not to be confused. Eddie
Eddie
Murphy was there.
was crazy.
I know. I got to rewatch it. I was such a big SNL fan growing up. And for me not to watch that is pretty disrespectful.
Steve Martin?
Steve Martin was there?
Yeah, he opened.
Cheaper by the dozen?
Martin Sheen?
How long was this
It
deal?
was long. It was like 2 hours at least.
No
Yeah.
way.
It was
2
long.
hours on cable with like commercials and stuff. It's probably like if you watch it now wherever on NBC, it'll probably be like an hour and a half.
Got you.
But yeah, there's a lot of skits, a lot of fun stuff. Meryl Streep made her first ever SNL performance, which I mean,
It was
she's a legend.
so nuts.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And did I see Post Malone do a Nirvana cover?
that was
That
I
was on
think,
Friday.
night
That was on
for like
Friday
the pre-party or something. But the people loved it. It's hard to do anything Nirvana, especially
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain. Like that's
It helps when you have
impressive.
Dave Grohl on drums.
It helps a
and
lot.
everyone else in the band.
Yeah, but
That is awesome.
it's impressive that he got the public support.
I saw some comments that were hating on that live performance, and I did just want to say, Post Malone, if you hear this, like that was an awesome performance, and that deserved no hate on the internet.
He did a.
There's always going to be homers for the Kurt Cobain thing. I completely understand why people would be
I
like,
get
this
that.
is not it.
He and Travis Barker did like a Nirvana like live stream during COVID to raise money, and you can go watch that on YouTube, and it is insane how good it is. And there's like in the house.
Anything Travis Barker touches, dude.
It's so good.
Post Malone came out smoking a cig, and then just
Just
right
put it on
before, right before the solo, just puts it on the fret and just.
No shit.
Oh yeah, murdered it. He had a great performance.
God, I wish I was that cool. Wouldn't it be awesome just to be that cool? Fuck.
And no offense, like we just named all of those people, but Taylor wants you to be on there.
Right.
No,
exactly.
no offense
I'm
at
agreeing
all.
with you. I'm agreeing with you. Like, no shade taken.
I think what he's saying is Taylor thinks you're that cool.
Shout out my wife, dude. She's my number one supporter. Number one hater also, but number one supporter. No doubt about it. And she's like, but Taylor, you love improv. It's like, yeah, sweetheart, I do. I love
I will
doing
say,
improv.
you got to read the cards, so you might have to get your eyes done.
Death. Yeah, I have to get my eyes done for sure.
Yeah,
Basically,
going.
why I'm getting my eyes done is so I can be on SNL. Now the whole world knows.
Damn.
Being on SNL would be all time. Improv's fun. I mean, doing to this day, my favorite podcast we've ever done is the Bad Friends podcast. Being able to do that type of improv is just so much fun.
Step one in that process of getting onto SNL, you should do an improv class. I think you'd have a lot of fun.
I think
doing
we should
that.
all do an improv class. That'd be so much fun.
I would love to do it.
Have you guys ever done an improv class?
I took drama 2 years in high school, so
I see you, G. You probably like that then, huh?
you do the math.
I got I was district champ in 8th grade for
At-
improv.
Hold on, what
How
is
do
this
you- how-
tournament?
whoa,
How does this
whoa.
tournament work?
Bro,
Okay, first off, can I say something real quick?
please.
And this is a safe space. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. And you just put the Chinese hat on the microphone
Okay.
over here and you lied about that.
On Scarlet, first place, UIL, district, whatever we were for Alito, improv champion.
How does it work?
Okay, so how the format works is you have a ton of different drama-based stuff. So you have like one-act plays, you have monologue readings, you have like singing, musical aspects. Like there's all these different categories.
Really talented stuff.
Talented stuff. I signed up for, in this case, it would be you and I, Taylor, are two guys doing any improv scene that we draw out of a hat. And we're going up against like 30 other two-man teams.
Wow, 60 other people.
It was a
There's your math, G.
big competition. It takes all day. There's like 6 rounds to it. And all you know is that you make it to the finals. You don't know if you win until the very end. And I mean, a huge moment. I kept that UIL
what was your
medal.
What was your championship?
I love it.
Performance.
Gee, I love that you're pressing him right now.
Championship scene was that I was a evil scientist and that I had it wasn't that I was the evil scientist. It was just an evil scientist and a Igor type
falling apart.
character are trying to build this monster go. And so my partner and I need to remember his name.
Oh my gosh!
I need to remember his name.
Yeah, point you're at. You should have just made up a name, dude.
My
You did
next
such a
question
good
was
job
going to be.
lying.
My next question was going to be.
I was
Are
with,
you boys with this
Hey,
guy?
shout
Because
out
you
no-
need the.
shout out, no free shout out to Taylor Locke, who was my partner and best friend growing
Dog,
up.
hold on. There's no way you don't remember his name, and I'm right here.
I got partnered with them right before the tournament because Taylor and I were partners. We were best friends. And our drama teacher was like,
My best friend. I can't remember my best friend's name.
well, I can remember Taylor Locke. Drama teacher says, y'all are both trying to be alphas in scenes. And you need one driver, and then you need somebody that's like the yes man to the driver to help the scene push. She said, y'all are both trying to drive. So she split us up. She gave Taylor a new partner. I got a new partner. I think his name was Aaron. I don't want to like jump on that, but I want to say his name was Aaron. And it was like right before this tournament, I got first. Taylor brought home the silver with Preston Bartley. That was his partner.
Honestly, alpha
Shout out, no
move
free
you
shout
not knowing your partner's name, but
Alpha
still
move.
winning.
And also, nice flex by you saying your teacher said you're both trying to be alphas.
We were both trying to come up with stuff for the scene, and we'd butt heads.
It would
It wouldn't
bottleneck.
work.
Bottleneck
It
a
would
little bit.
bottleneck.
I'll tell a truthful story. When I was in high school, I had an improv, like an acting class that I did, and it was so much fun. My freshman year, we did it. Me and Nick Bennett were in this class together. Nick, I remember his name because he was my best friend, still is to this day. And this during the same year, we had an English teacher who had to leave. She might have got sick or she just moved or something like that. But we had Miss Clarkson come in as a substitute teacher. She was like, we were unruly children. And she is like kind of like not knowing what to do. So Nick Bennett and I took it upon ourselves to teach the class improv. And instead of doing English, we just decided to improv, which plays out because now I still can't read and I don't know punctuation very well. But the whole time I was there through my junior year being at the same school, Cactus Shadows High School, we would go and every year pick one day and we'd skip the entire day to go to Miss Clarkson's class and teach the freshmen improv. And I loved it. It was so much fun. And back then it was just like poop and pee jokes that she would get upset about. But that was really it. Love improv.
It really was such a fun class.
It is, dude. And if you can get over the thought of
Shout
like,
out Miss Moody.
I hope I don't say something dumb here. Like if you can get over like the ego of being like, man, I'm going to try something and hopefully it hits. It's so much fun just to throw caution to the wind and kind of rip those things apart.
We had, like for my grade, we had like 8 guys that wanted to be in drama too. And the teacher was like, I cannot handle 8 of you in one class.
Right.
So they made 2 classes. One was in the morning and one was in the afternoon. So they split us up 4 and 4. And we were definitely the guys in the class that were like immediately making it inappropriate.
Right.
But had enough confidence to where she was just like, I mean, they're not like screwing up, but they're just taking it
Way
the
too far.
worst way. So, I mean, making everyone uncomfortable in a skit, like just, I don't know. It was fun.
I love it.
Stuff
And
you
the
don't
idea of
think
always
about.
saying yes too. Like doesn't matter what the other person says. Like you have to say yes and go with it.
Right.
That's awesome. What we need to do is we should figure out how to get on SNL and then just try to check those boxes.
Yeah.
Let's just try to check those boxes.
Okay.
Also
I
texted
think
my
drugs is one.
What's that?
I think drugs is one.
Okay, drugs is 1. Probably doing some sort of stand-up is 2. Writing.
Yeah, but more so improv and writing. Writing's a big one.
Writing
Yeah, we
would
should
be
probably
huge.
start writing skits.
Yeah.
We know people that have been on SNL.
True, but we know people that have hosted SNL, not the people that have been like mainstays on SNL.
Well, Anders was a writer. We
Huh?
interviewed Anders. He was a writer on SNL for
That's
a while.
right. Now we know him now, and he did follow me. So yeah, we could probably figure that out.
That's okay.
No, I'm saying we could figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, nothing that's okay about it. Like it's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
thing.
yeah. We'll
It's a
figure
good
it
thing.
out.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. He follows you. And we're boys now.
I
The
back and
Durs.
forth.
That's so far.
I texted my mom for photos, by the way.
Of what, you just standing?
Yeah, with the medal.
No.
Duh.
I
You need to
don't
get
Gold
that
meds.
in
I don't believe
shop.
in one bit.
Okay.
Let's do an ad read. Yeah, boys? Money. That's what we're about to make right now with this ad read. Speaking of money, Rocket Money. You sign up for something, forget about it after the trial period ends, and then then you're charged month after month after month. The subscribers are there, but you're not using them. In fact, I just learned that 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow in savings. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/bussin today. That's rocketmoney.com/bussin. rocketmoney.com/bussin. Dude, that is actually a hell of a deal because about a year ago I went through like all my like spending and I was like, yo, why is my monthly spending so much? And I like went in went through like all of my monthly like spending and I was like probably $1,000 of just crazy different things that I'm not even using. So I had to not only did I have to unsubscribe those things, I had to go to places. This place called the Cool Spot over there by where Will Compton's house is. I had to go unsubscribe there. It was like $200 a month. And I hadn't been there in like 3 years. So shout out Rocket Money, dude. You gotta dial in that spending, dial in that budget, boys. You gotta have it. Gotta have it.
It's been a huge weight off my shoulders. I recently did that 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it really is. Like at the end of the month, I look at my statement now and I just feel so much better. I saved around 700 something.
Love that.
It was pretty crazy.
It's huge.
I have a question on this.
Go ahead.
I, like everybody, have all the streaming services.
I love where you're going with this. It was on my brain too.
How do you pick which ones to have? Like, because I should get rid of some so I can save some money.
Right.
But how do you pick which ones?
Should we tier talk the streaming services?
We should tier talk the streaming services. That's a great idea,
Yeah,
Jack.
I like that. But I struggle because, like, recent episode, go check it out if not. But, like, I keep Hulu solely because Workaholics is on Hulu. I don't watch anything else on Hulu.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff on Hulu.
There is good stuff,
Archer.
but, like...
Archer's on Hulu.
Yeah.
I've been diving into that lately. I've rewatched. Also, Entourage is on Hulu now.
Is it? It's not on
No.
Max anymore?
As yesterday, I was literally thumbing through, just trying to
Interesting.
figure out something to watch, and I saw Entourage. I was like, "Oh shit, it's on Hulu." Because I got Hulu, I got Prime, I got Apple. Is that a
Yeah.
streaming service? I got Disney. I got all. Dude, I got all of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I did do the bundle where it's like Disney, Hulu, and
ESPN.
one of them
ESPN Plus.
as a bundle. They
Yeah.
have like a couple options, so I did do that. But like, yeah, I mean, how
The
do you know
streaming
which
services
one
are
you
getting
want?
because at one point it was like, "Yo, we should get rid of cable. It's cheaper and better to just do the streaming services." They beat us, boys. We're in a bad spot right now because we're spending way more, I bet, than we were on cable before. Even with all the fixins you would get, the HBOs, the Cinemax, all those things, dude.
Stars.
Skinemax back in the day now.
No,
No, that was epic.
How I got is through Roku TV. You can set up your debit card like on your Roku, and then when you download the app, it'll say, "Hey, we already have your email and your payment thing. You just say yes, I want to subscribe to it. We got you." And so when I started going through my statement, I was Discovery Channel Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock.
Paramount does rip too, dude.
I unsubscribed from at least 6 or 7
Yeah,
that I didn't even know, like, really that I had, truly.
yeah.
And that's like $70 right there, $80 right there.
So I know we're gonna tier talk this. I also want to give it a pet peeve real quick. That just you guys scrambled my brain. My pet peeve this week is when a new movie comes out on Apple and you go to watch the movie and you can rent it for $25 or buy it for $29. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
I didn't know it was
the
that
brain.
much to
The
rent.
brain wants to go to Moana 2, dude. My kids, that movie came out. Kids wanted to watch it, and I looked at it. I was like, dude, I'm not spending $25 on a 48-hour rental. That's crazy. So I told them, I was like, I'm gonna buy this movie, but y'all better watch this movie at least 6 times.
Yeah.
And they made a promise. Because in my head, it's like, okay, yeah, 6 divided by 30, whatever that is.
There's your math.
$5. Boom. You didn't know I was going with that, did you?
Math,
Huh? You didn't know
baby.
I was fucking with that. $5. So I told my kids, I will buy this, but you need in the next year to watch this movie 6 times. And they agreed. They've watched it twice so far. And it's only been 2 months. So I'm about to get that shit down. But it is so annoying.
Can you return it?
Good question. Good question. I wonder what the sale back is.
If you watch it under the 6 times?
Yeah, you get like a certain percentage of your money back. That's what you should do. Because that fucking frustrates me a lot, man. Because you know they've got you by the balls. And it's like, I want to watch this movie. First off, Moana 2, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, especially if you have kids. If you don't have kids, watch it by yourself. Like, don't let people watching kids.
No, those
shows.
are great movies.
Great movies. But also, you don't want to be a guy in a theater by yourself at a kid's movie.
I don't know.
Would you rather...
You don't want to be a guy by yourself at a premiere of a kid's movie. You just don't want to be that guy.
Not the premiere.
The opening weekend.
But
If there's kids at
Oh,
a
now Jack
premiere,
wants
it's
to talk.
midnight.
He wants to reach for it, Jared.
let me talk about this.
Go ahead.
So
Let me get
as
my
an
jacket off 'cause I'm
adult,
getting hot.
As an adult, you got to go to like the 9:15, 10 p.m. showing because if a parent is bringing their kids to something that late, that's on the parent for bringing it. Like you shouldn't have
Your kid
kid
should
up
be
that
asleep.
late.
I agree.
So that's why you hit a 9:15 or a 10 p.m. preview. You don't have to feel weird. You can actually judge the parents for being bad guardians.
I agree.
If I'm banged up in there,
But definitely
Yeah,
don't.
I'm high in front of your kids, that's your fault. It's 11 p.m.
And
Like, what are you doing?
you really want to go like with your significant other or like your wife or girlfriend because you show up and like low key it's for you, but you're like, yeah, my girl just wanted to see this. And you're sitting back just like, oh my god.
Yeah, you know what, dude? There's nothing wrong with going to a kids movie as an adult with no kids.
But
It's
post 8:15
hours.
maybe, yeah.
Now,
After
if you're
9
going
p.m.
at 4 p.m.,
creepy.
come on.
And you got like a juice box too with you, but there's no
Yeah.
kids.
You got a juice box, something's different. I mean, sucking on an icy in front of a bunch of kids,
I mean,
At 4 p.m.?
I don't know what the hate on ices
slurping
are.
on a Slurpee at 4 p.m. in front of a bunch of kids, dude. I don't know. I don't know. This is not for me. Now, I have kids, so I can do whatever I want.
Oh, so you can slurp
I can
on a
slurp on that
Slurpee.
Slurpee, no problem, dude.
Damn it.
I'm just letting you guys know. You're 30, dude. You're going to get it soon.
I gotta have
And
kids soon, so I
Gotta
can
have. You should
drink
just.
ices.
You should Elon Musk it, dude. Just start putting your seed in different places.
God.
Just start
Yeah,
pumping the
I
thing
actually
out.
almost did. I almost took my niece to Moana too, but she got sick over Thanksgiving, so we couldn't go.
Did you go by yourself?
No, but I could have because it was in Atlanta. So like different
Yeah.
city, they don't know me.
Right. ATL.
You know, you wear sunglasses,
No doubt. Ooh.
trench coat.
Ooh. Nothing underneath.
Oh, you do like
Slurping on a
ices.
Slurpee, dude. That is pretty wild. Should we stay on my list? Should we stay on my list of categories?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's tier talk, dude. Off the bat, off just my brain without doing a whole lot of research. Tier 3, I'm gonna give it to Hulu. I think Hulu is pretty fantastic, especially with the addition of Entourage. They've always got a lot of things. Sometimes I go to Apple. Can I put Apple in it?
Yeah, Apple TV.
Okay. I just don't. I don't know. I feel like Apple's like a facilitator. Like I'll look something up and then I'll be like, oh, you got to go to this for that. But I'll go Hulu, tier 3. Tier 2, I'm gonna give to Apple. I might be the best, but my tier 1, I feel like it's just OG, and they've gotten so much better. But I love Apple. I love the original shows they have. Masters of the Air, most recent. I think it's fantastic, and it is it's my facilitator. Like if I don't know where to find something, I go to the Apple. I put it in the search bar. I start typing in, and it lets me know where I need to go. My tier 1, Netflix. My tier 1 is Netflix. They're phenomenal. I remember they started off just being outside of a Safeway grocery store, and you get the DVDs and you bring it back. Then they have the streaming starting, and it was just like ass old TV shows. Now they have their original series. They have great movies. They have great shows. Netflix, number 1. Live streaming. Great reality TV.
Solid.
Good.
Strong.
Yeah, solid.
All right. Does anyone have a different setup? They want to. Oh, sure. Sure.
I have an honorable mention to Shudder. It's a horror movie only
Did
streaming
not
service.
even knew that existed. That might have made mine.
You would actually love it for Spooktober. Shudder.
Delaney probably started it.
I think Delaney and I have talked about Shudder now that I think about it.
Mhm.
But Shudder, honorable mention. 3, Hulu. I'm going based off content too. Not like how the app goes or like what's on it, but like original content stuff. Or just their category folder of movies. So Hulu, it would be higher if I didn't have to pay more for no ads. 2, Netflix. Love Netflix, love the original content. It is starting to get oversaturated, so it's not number 1. Number 1 might be controversial, Max, HBO Max, just based off quality of content. True Detective, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, the list goes on. I mean, they got bangers. So that's my tier talk.
Okay.
Strong.
Solid.
Good.
Okay, so we all just like the streaming services.
Well thought out.
So we all just like streaming services. We're basically just saying they're all good. Okay.
I low-key, I use Peacock. It's my honorable mention. It would be my honorable mention.
You know what? Never mind.
The only reason I use Peacock, for the most part, is to watch the reruns of the Supercross race, so I can watch that.
Don't laugh at that, Jack.
I'm not.
Don't
even
fucking make
thinking
that
about
face.
it.
You let him be who he is.
And then my 3 would be Hulu, then Netflix, and then Max. So you don't have to.
3 Hulu, Netflix, Max. So same as Sherm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't know he was Netflix second.
Yeah, it was the exact same actually.
That's okay.
Love Netflix. We love Netflix on this show. Love Netflix. Go ahead. It's all. Hey, good job. Good job. Peacock.
Supercross.
Not. Oh, dude, who is listening to this intro right now?
What this made me
This is tier 1 shit right here.
what this made me realize is that the back of the bus needs its own pod.
You do the numbers. You guys can have one.
We'll just tell.
You guys want to try out
We'll just
your
tell
own
fake
podcast?
stories and
Yeah, you just tell Sherman lies and then make fun of Sherman for it, and then
rank everything just the same.
yeah, right, yeah. So you guys will have the same show. If you guys want to do your own podcast, and this is up for the comment section, if you guys want to do your own podcast and try it out, you're more than welcome to do it. But
Yeah, what's the but?
it's got to make sense eventually.
What do we need to continue?
I don't know. I don't know what I guess it has to be monetizable. Like,
Oh, we'll get sponsors.
no, I mean, even if it's not, like, if you guys just want to do it, you guys can, I guess. Like, it's free conch. Do what you want.
Free conch.
Free conch. That's a Chris D'Elia.
This ain't Canada, baby.
This ain't Canada, brother. Like, you guys want to do a little podcast in the back, go ahead. You should actually set up your own studio, too.
We have 4 right here.
Huh?
3. We have 3 studios in this room.
Like our own back.
Your own, back of the bus. You don't want to do it in the same on the
No,
same
we wouldn't
bus.
do it in here.
No.
We would just do it this side
Right.
and just. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but if all y'all, I'm assuming the rest of the boys are probably going to sit in as well. You guys want to be that close?
No, I'm joking.
We have
quality
to
of
have
podcast.
Coop in here.
Yeah, gotta have Coop in here.
needs his own podcast.
Yep. He needs his own. Yeah. Yeah, Coop's Corner. I like that. But also, set up 4 chairs in front of the green screen. Boom. You're welcome.
And just leave it green.
Yeah. I can do pre-production stuff for you guys, like Sherm. I'll set up put a motivational video.
Let's go.
Things I think we can talk about, guys. Let's see here. Baylor did good this week. Let's talk about Baylor. You know, right?
Thank you, Taylor.
Nothing to call home about, but
Right home about.
right home about.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We should do an opposite day.
Yeah, if you want me to fuck up that dashboard, go ahead. I'll go back there and start meticulously pressing buttons. Yeah, I'm not there fucking DJing on that thing. Do we have any other combinations of the streaming services that we'd like to tier talk? I know I got my 2 boys right up front.
I think I'd keep mine the same with. I don't really have like an order, but it's Max, it's Netflix, it's Hulu. But my honorable mention would go to Disney.
I don't fuck with Disney like that.
Really?
I
But you just bought Moana 2 for $29.
I love. Here's what I don't. I love the content that Disney provides. I do like that a lot.
Miracle's also on that. So
And
Great
all the
movie.
Marvel movies.
Yeah, which I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But
Star
I'm
Wars.
no, listen, guys. My show. Hold on, my show. You guys
Remember
have
the
show.
Titans.
My show. Okay.
Motocross.
I got the reins here, boys. Let me handle this one real quick. I enjoy Disney. I love the content that they have. However, when I go to my Apple and I type in what I want to watch, and then it sends me to Disney makes it a fucked up where I have to like now go to Disney to search to find that content. I don't like the process it takes to get to my viewing pleasures. When I'm finally viewing it, I'm having pleasure. But it's getting to the pleasure if I don't know exactly where it's at. If I don't know it's on Disney and I have to go to Apple and it says, oh, by the way, it's on Disney, I shrug my shoulders and have a deep exhale because I know I'm going to have to go to Disney and search it. It doesn't just bring me to the thing.
It sounds like you use Apple as like a Google search.
Yeah. I feel like I've been pretty clear about that.
I know,
like
but
that
I feel like I've never had that experience. When
I just go to that
Apple
top
TV.
left. I see that little Apple dude with a little bite taken out of it. I go to the search button there and it kind of is like, you want to find this, it'll be on Disney. And I think, fuck.
There's an app on your phone for that. It's called IMDb.
Or Google.
That sounds like crazy to me.
Don't-
If I'm
you have
already
an
on the
IMDb.
deal, why won't I just keep using the deal? If I had to go off this deal to a new deal, that's a whole different deal.
Then you can just go from here to there.
Here's where you and I differ. This is my remote control for my TV.
Same.
So I go like this. I'm doing this. And then
So then you just go.
So then I have to like swipe up, scroll over, boom, get on the app that has to recalibrate the internet.
You could also go, "Hey Siri."
That's a good point, G. That's a good one. I don't utilize Siri enough.
I don't
She's a little bit of a bitch, to be honest. Oh, you're right. Right. Hey Siri.
Love you.
Popped up. Always listening. She's always listening. All right, good. We feel good about it.
Wait, I one thing. I was in the boat with everyone on Hulu, Disney, Max, Apple TV,
Netflix.
In the mix. Netflix. The only thing that I would add as my third is YouTube TV, because it's become almost like the premier like cable streaming platform.
You're
now.
absolutely right.
And on top of that, you can go to their movie tabs and it'll show you every movie that's on currently in cable, every movie that's going to come on later in the day, and they have a bunch of free movies. It's not my first go-to, but like last night when I was watching SNL 50 during commercial breaks, I'm flipping back between that and Captain America: Civil War, just bing boom. So I do like YouTube TV, but yeah, we're at a point where cable TV was cheaper now. Everything
Way
on
cheaper.
streaming is killing us. And at some point, and every single platform, whether it's Netflix, Hulu, Apple, every 6 months, they go up $3 or $4. Like now on Hulu's my number one, but I have no ads, and I think I pay like $18 a month. And I'm like, it's like, come on.
And what are we doing? That's one movie on Apple. That's not even the full price of Moana 2 that I paid for.
But yeah, well, that was fun.
I enjoyed that. For sure. Tier Talk, we were going to do major sports tournaments, but Psych.
We can save it.
We'll save it. We'll kick that can down the road a little bit. How are we feeling, boys? Should we probably get to the podcast in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, this guest is electric.
Electric. But I do want to talk about one more thing, and then we'll get to the guest. Dude, Canada, right? Like we bought it. No, I'm just kidding. I want to give a special shout out to Richie Incognito. I think so. Richie and I, we're not as close as we used to be, but we used to be legit best friends. Like at one point was the godfather of my firstborn child. Huh?
Is he not anymore?
No.
Oh.
Well, we don't know. He's not anymore.
Okay.
He's not anymore.
Gotcha.
We did some new paperwork.
Okay, gotcha.
But I know there's a shitload of trials and tribulations that Richie Incognito has had, whether it be in college or all over the place and stuff. But the biggest thing that's kind of like carried weight on his shoulders for the longest time was this Jonathan Martin out of Stanford going to Miami, and this whole like bullying saga that took place with Richie that fucked him in so many ways. Like he had a Pro Bowl season at Miami and was about to get broke off. And then in that off season, Jonathan Martin comes out. I think he retired. I don't know the full. I know the full story. It's just not coming back to me right now. Like retires because he's getting bullied, or he doesn't retire, but he says he's getting bullied by Richie. Paints Richie in this horrible picture. And I'm not here to say that Richie Incognito, like his track record isn't like, got some bumps and bruises to it. Don't get me wrong. The boys had some issues, but that really screwed him over in a lot of ways, and probably contributed to a lot more things happening in the future after that painted him in a bad light. Guy is a sweet individual. He's a good man. When Richie is his healthiest version of himself, he's a great person. He cares about people. He loves people. Him and Talon, he was around when Talon and I first met. And I told Richie in confidence, like, hey, I'm probably going to propose to this girl. And he sat me down and gave me the whole conversation. Like, hey, this girl, like you just met this girl. You're in the NFL. Like, you got to, we all know what I'm talking about. There's some areas that you're going to have to look at and make sure that you're safe and all that. But eventually when I told him, like, yeah, I'm going to marry this girl, he was the first one to support me. He was supposed to be in my wedding. But all that to be said is, like, it's super special, not special. It's great to see Jonathan Martin say that was a lie and Richie get that off his back a little bit. Cause he missed out on millions of dollars because of it. He was about to get broke off. And I just think it's good for somebody who didn't actually do the bad thing that people said he was so bad for doing, have his deal. And Jonathan Martin, I think it's a scumbag move. I think it's fucked up. I know he's had his own issues himself, but have your own problems and to project that onto somebody else so they have more problems, it's not going to take away your problems. So I don't know the full story allegedly of how Jonathan Martin came to this conclusion that he should now be truthful about the whole bullying thing. It's scummy, but it is what it is. And I'm stoked for Richie to have this, regardless of anything like financially comes from this, or if anything, like just for him to have the peace of mind to know that this is all over. That fires me up for the boy. He deserves it. He's a good person. And I think the sports world needs to apologize to Richie Incognito to some extent. That's what they need to do, not me. I've always had his back. Anyway, Kevin's Natural Foods. Yep, sure.
I was going to say it was funny that his first reaction was then to post pictures of that guy and be like, yeah, I'm really bullying him.
Right.
Really bullying him.
I know. I saw him, one of him, Jonathan Martin, and Marquise Pouncey when they're in Indianapolis on a carriage ride, and he's like wearing a blanket. It's funny. It made me laugh because I remember me, Ben Jones, and Jack Conklin actually doing the same thing, and I was the one bitching about being cold. So like it's just fun, and it's like like football. There is bullying that goes on. Don't get it twisted, but like there's still fun times to be had, and like you gotta razz the boys a little bit to have about having thick skin. But let's talk about Kevin's Natural Food a little bit, all right? Let's keep this our healthiest year ever. If you haven't tried Kevin's Natural Food, you're missing out, dude. I'm a huge fan of the cilantro lime chicken. If you don't like cilantro lime chicken, you can always have the Thai-style coconut chicken and the Korean barbecue. Boys, I'm telling you right now, we've done a couple of custom mats for these people. He makes the plate. He gets it all ready. And it's like, hey, here's what we're going to do after that. I end up eating the whole damn plate every single time. I'm talking about gluten-free, non-GMO. It's paleo. The shit's delicious. And if you want delicious protein-packed meals on the table in 5 minutes, Kevin Natural Foods heat and serve entrees are perfect. These clean, nutritious meals taste like something you get at a restaurant. Kevin's entrees include fully cooked beef or chicken and incredible sauces. So all you need is to heat and eat. It's hard to believe something this tasty and healthy can be ready this fast.
On the back.
Oh, there's something on the back?
Yes, sir.
All right. Skip the greasy takeout and grab Kevin's Natural Foods instead. It's the perfect time. It's a perfect meal time hack. And it is faster to take out too. My brain's starting to get fried right now. Find Kevin's in the refrigerated section at your grocery store. This stuff is actually really good. It is. It's one of those things where it's like, you want to promote all the things that you truly believe in, and Kevin's Natural Food is absolutely delicious. So yeah, I'm glad I said that about Richie. I'm glad we talked about Canada. Let's warm the weather up a little bit in there. Let's get that figured out. I love the rivalry that's going on. I love the direction our national championship is headed in. Great intro, boys. And if you stuck around for this long, you're a tier 1 because we have been really just kind of fucking off for what, an hour?
Hour 20.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's probably a little too much.
Good hang.
It was a good hang. Also, a couple of things of note, something to look forward to, possible Back of the Boys podcast coming.
Yeah, help us think of names in the comments, please.
Back of the Bus would probably be a good starting point for that name of the podcast. But yeah, if you have different ideas for names, that's great too. Also, stream this week. Cam Belden, Tress Wynn. I'm not doing a stream this week. I got so much shit to do on Tuesday. I'm not fucking doing it. However, you guys have been up my ass. I owe you guys big time. Next week, we'll do double streams. We'll do double streams Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to do Red Dead Redemption 2. We're going to get back on the saddle. Get after it. We're going to be all about it, dude, because I do want to jump back in that game. COD has been unbelievable, but we're definitely going to do RD2. I owe it to you, at least you two guys. You guys have been around enough. You guys have been up my ass and my Twitter as well. Jameis Winston. Dude, there is not enough good things you could say about this guest. The guy, it starts with the crab legs. People get pissed off at him. He gets drafted first overall. He has these ups and downs, but the presence and the passion that this guy has in this podcast is incredible. He came with a slew of gentlemen. He came with so many people, cousins, aunts, uncles, a whole bunch of family members around him. Fox basically gave him a microphone for the entire week in New Orleans. And every single time I saw him on Twitter, I had to watch. He is incredible content. He's going to have a huge career after football while he's already having a massive career right now. I'm so excited for him. I'm excited for his future. And I'm excited for this upcoming season to see where he heads off to. Big fan of Jameis Winston. Please enjoy this episode. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Please comment as well. Big hugs, tiny kisses, USA forever. 50 stars, 51 stars, 13 bars. These colors don't run. We've been running the world since 1776. Back-to-back world champs. Enjoy the episode.
All right, welcome to Bussin' with the Boys. We have an awesome guest. Jameis Winston, Florida State Seminole, Buccaneer, New Orleans Saints, Cleveland Browns. Bro, thank you for coming on the show. You got massive fans all over the place with Bussin' with the Boys.
Man, it's an honor and privilege to be here. I'm on this greatness.
I see you're holding some Ryl Tea.
Yeah.
What do you got going on with Ryl Tea?
Well, I mean, Ryl Tea is the best tea out there on the market. Just the clean ingredients. And when I just finished the workout, so I had to make sure that I hydrated up with my Ryl Tea, bro.
You're in
Nice.
with a good crew. I feel like I've seen Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, Ryl
Caleb
Tea seems like it makes
Presley.
the rounds with some big time people, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that is awesome.
Theo Vaughn had a interview with President-elect 47, and these cans were in the background, bro. So I think that's a good thing.
Dude, seeing him do that with Theo, of all the podcasts he did, that was my favorite one to watch. That and Schultz's one.
Yeah, I mean, Schultz was a good one.
It was awesome.
Bussin' with the boys.
Bus was solid. Bus was solid. Bus was a solid time. Very nerve wracking for Bussin' with the boys. But
Oh,
Theo
yeah.
talking about like cocaine and stuff like that to me was
Yeah.
just so funny because he's so authentically himself.
Yeah.
Similar to you.
Yeah.
Did you when you're coming out of college and the whole crab leg things happen, who's gonna be first? You were Marcus. Like, I feel like there was a dip in like, oh, this guy, like maybe people weren't appreciating your personality.
Yeah.
You flip over, it's been 10 years now. You are like the media darling. I watch you at Media Days on Monday. The way you set up the joke for what's your favorite color to Chris Jones, the way like the comedic timing, the how authentic you are, like talking to Will. He was at Barstool. We have never actually met like face to face. Maybe one time like after a game.
Yeah.
But hearing that like you're the same guy, like at any point throughout your career where you're like, do I need to be a little more like the model student that these teams want me to be? Or did you never waver in who you were as a person?
Well, when I first got to Tampa, I think like that was the compromise that I first made. Like just trying to get out of the media as public enemy number one. Like because I wanted people to really see who I truly was. So I invested time in the community. I invested a lot of time with my teammates. And I always consider myself like a people pleaser. But that wasn't necessarily me at that time in Tampa. Because I was just like, man, I'm so focused on me as the person, but when you're a good person, you don't have to try to be a good person.
Yeah.
And I put so much thought, energy, and so much time and effort into like, oh man, I gotta show these people that I'm not who they think I am.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's not you're not who you think you are, but what you think you are. So it's putting my energy toward like, man, my play, toward like developing a family, spending more like in Tampa, that was my young days, you know. So like I'm in a new city, you know, it's living young, wild and free. But at the same time, I have a girlfriend that's living in Texas, you know, so I'm trying to manage that relationship and also focus on my dream, focus on winning the Super Bowl, focus on being the best quarterback and teammate I can possibly be, and focus on being the best man that I possibly can be without the limitations and perception that others had of me at that time.
When you are stripping those things off, like talk about what it was like for you becoming a professional. When you're around guys in the league that have been around a long time, like I'm thinking of Tampa, you're around like Levante David, Gerald McCoy, Mike Evans, like guys who are becoming pros. Because when you come out, you've been a dual threat quarterback. You've been the man since high school.
Yeah.
You've obviously made your rounds in the headlines when you were in college. And when you get drafted and you're going to Tampa, like talk about what it was like for you becoming that pro, stripping yourself of the, you know, the past and everything else and the perceptions that people had about you, like becoming that ultimate pro that you're supposed to be in the NFL.
Yeah, well, one thing that a wise person shared with me, Joe Theismann, and we had a tough conversation at the Walter Camp Award. And we're talking about just like, I was just explaining to him like, man, Joe, like, that's not me. Like, what you heard about me on TV, like, that's not me. Like, I'm a Southern boy from Alabama. I respect my elders. I respect everyone that I encounter with. Like, that's just how I was born and raised. And he was like, Jameis, he's like, I can tell, look in your eyes, I can tell that's not you. But I want you to understand what this business is and what public perception is. Perception is reality. So instead of you telling me, or instead of you forcing people to like you, or instead of you trying to convince somebody who you are, people are going to believe what they want to believe. So you should just do that consistently, day in and day out. He said, the more that you do that, it's going to come out who you truly are. He's like, because you can't hide truth. Like, truth is eventually going to come out to the light. But in terms of like veterans like Jerry McCoy, another veteran that really helped me was Louis Murphy, because he had a chance to be in Oakland and Carolina around Cam Newton, Derek Carr, and guys like that. Levante David, just his poise, his presence in the Tampa community. Another big one that y'all probably remember his name, Clint McDonald. Like just a true man of faith. I had the opportunity to go to like, you know, when you're young, you're trying to go to every event that your teammate has.
Absolutely.
So the first time I went to Little Rock, Arkansas, it was to one of his charity events for his foundation with his family. And just seeing him as a man with his girls and his wife. And I took my girlfriend at the time, now wife, and that was one of the changing points in my life in terms of like my commitment and my love and my consistency with my wife in terms of like when I saw that him represent his foundation, people in his city coming to support him, I understood like, man, like I know it's bigger than me and I have a partner who I can support and who I can help lead to grow with me to be involved with all these great things in community, family, brands, like all that stuff became important to me because I saw this man, Clint McDonald, religiously. Like we went to a football camp, he had a golf tournament, but who he was in his community, I'm just like, man, like this is me to my community.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's displaying with his wife, with his kids, in front of his family, is that consistency, that foundation, and that's something that I'm chasing. So when I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, I was like, man, like this is who I'm going to be, and like I'm not wavering from this. Like I'm going to be intentional with my wife. Like I'm gonna get that fixed.
Mm.
Like we not about to be going back and forth. Like I'm gonna be intentional with what I want to do, how I want to serve my community, how I want to impact the younger generation. And obviously, I feel like ball has always been on the top of my mind because that's something that we all have tried to perfect along our journey anyway.
Yeah. You talk about like the ball being the top of mind. Like NFL stands for not for long in so many ways. Like you only have a finite amount of years to accomplish what your childhood dream was. How do you find balance when you get home?
Well, you find balance by being all in on every stage.
Mm-hmm.
And again, one of my biggest growth stages as well in 2019, where I got around Clyde Christensen, who coached Peyton, and you know Peyton studied like no other. And Clyde, he was like, I was the first person to really encourage him, like, hey man, like what you do in this building is what you do in this building, but once you go home, you need to go home and be that same caliber studier, same present person, same leader to your family.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay. So one thing that we did, we started developing a plan. I never really had a plan, right? Like I had my off-season plan, but my in-season plan was, you know, studying, watching 4 games on Monday, Tuesday, getting an early bead on third downs and watching some more of the rundowns. But I never written it down to what I was specifically going to do. So I wasn't really holding myself accountable to the things that I was doing to prepare. I was preparing, I was landing on the line, but it wasn't strategized.
Yeah, you're like checking a box and you're like, oh, I watch these 4 games. Boom, I watched the 4 games.
Yeah.
Watch a little bit of third down. Okay, I now know third down as
Right.
opposed to being intentional.
I never put thought energy into the preparation side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just did it because I loved it and I knew what was required to be a successful quarterback, and I knew I couldn't go out there unprepared. But I never thought that me actually sitting down with my quarterback coach, planning what I am going to do, how much accountability that brings. Because I'm saying, like, if I'm gonna write this down in June, what I'm gonna do in the months of September, October, November, and December, that's a level of commitment to like doing those things and making sure that you actually are being those things and not just saying, oh, I wrote this down just to write it for the love of the game.
Seems easy to check boxes in the NFL for sure. Just sit there and
you just
note out.
feel the energy of Jameis
I know.
already in this room.
And it lifts you up.
Yeah, it does.
He's like, he's truly, he's the rising tide that is lifting our ship.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate y'all, but I'm on the boat with y'all.
Hey, I've been seeing you getting in the mix.
Yeah.
I've been seeing you getting in the mix. You had something you were, Taylor was talking about earlier, but hitting media days on behalf of Fox Sports. You've been going on pods. Like, do you ever get fascinated by the things outside of football? Because we all eventually, the game comes for us all. Do you see yourself doing something like that after football?
Man, I consider myself a man of increase. So whatever I can do to uplift people, uplift a brand, uplift a company, I'm going to do it. But right now, like, man, my main goal, like my contingency plan is non-existent. My main goal is to be a Super Bowl winning starting quarterback in this NFL league. Mm-hmm. And like, do you know the time, the effort, the dedication and preparation that entails that? You know, obviously my charisma, who I am, like that's gonna remain the same. That's my foundation because my faith, that's who I am. That's I'm imitating Christ. So I know like that's gonna remain the same. But my dream is to lead my team to the Super Bowl. And I still haven't done that yet. And I will not allow myself to be still in this business, still have opportunities, and not dedicate my time and energy to assisting, serving, or helping my team reach that goal.
Yeah, it's an impossible game to be half in and half out about.
Yeah.
Especially as a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
When you look at like the position you were in this year, Deshaun Watson, he gets hurt, you come in, we go up, we go down, we're kind of moving around a little bit, but you're slinging the ball everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you looking at guys like Baker Mayfield, who's, went to the Browns, people kind of cursed him out of the building, he gets out of there, and now he's like kind of reset himself and calibrated himself in Tampa as a starting quarterback? Like, what quarterbacks are you watching be like, I need to imitate this to take the next step for that so I can achieve the goal you were just talking about?
Yeah, honestly, the quarterbacks that I've been watching this offseason has been Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, because I think they do a good job of limiting their own critical errors. And sometimes with their play, you don't see, like, early on in both their careers, you see the flashy. They show you they can make a play when it's time to make a play. But sometimes they play games where you're just like, man, like they have took 18 consecutive checkdowns, and I think that's the part of my game where I have to really master. I know I can win a shootout. I know I can go out there and
throw for 500,
surgically
sling that thing.
Surgically dissect any defense that comes my way.
Yeah.
But now the key to my game, to me actually elongating my career, is winning football games and protecting our team to the best ability I can.
Definitely from an operations standpoint is what you're talking about. Talk to me, dude. Explain to me Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I've been a little negative on Russell Wilson. He had a nice couple of weeks in the middle of the season with the Steelers. But Aaron, for you to bring up those two names, like Aaron didn't have a great year. Like the Jets were back on the Super Bowl contending. They were having a parade in May.
Yeah.
When he's coming back, and it doesn't work out that way. Why those two quarterbacks?
Well, those two quarterbacks specifically because I think they do a good job of having a plan for the game, and they might not have 500 yards in the first half. They might have 80 yards, but they know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And no, they didn't have, like, Russ probably didn't finish the way that he wanted to finish. But if you watch the course of his games, man, he is managing the game and is in complete control of what he wants to do. Yeah. Same thing with Aaron. Yeah, he has some ups and downs. He didn't have the year that he wanted to have, but still throughout the consistency of his play week in and week out is protecting the team. He plays that, like, I call it selfishly thinking about yourself. Like, they play in a way where, like, man, I'm not thinking about my stats. I'm trying to see, like, I'm not going to mess it up. I'm going to let the other team mess it up. And then when it's time for me to make a play, I have the God-given ability to go out there and execute and make that play.
Right. That's what you're saying is knowing when to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk about the mental game. Like when you are out there slinging it one week and then you have the pick sixes. I think you had a couple pick sixes on like Monday night.
Yeah.
Like when you hear the rumblings of you and interceptions, like talk about the mental game. Do you ever get caught up in turning the ball over when you have all these touchdowns one week, you turn the ball over next? Talk about like being able to separate yourself, zoom out, give yourself perspective, give yourself gratitude, because just as athletes, you just know that it is a constant mental game, like when you are playing.
Have you basically what I was asking is, have you ever brought a book on the sidelines to read between series?
Never in my life. But I have written things on my wristband like patience, precision, execution, feet. The mental game is so important because, like, we all know this, like, as athletes, you know, you hear the saying, like, the game is 90% mental, 10% physical. Yeah. And to a point, it's true because we got our God-given abilities. Like, we can do this or we won't be able to do this, or you won't be in the league long. Like, they do a good job of assessing talent. But I would have to credit my mental capacity in terms of handling highs and lows, one, with my faith journey, and my knowledge of just the word of one of my favorite verses is James 2-4, where it says, "Count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience, endurance. But let that patience have its perfect work, so that you can be complete, lacking nothing." Ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do. In terms of
intentional with that quote,
but in terms of
low-key wanted to play a game right now.
But literally, in terms of my play, like that's why I'm like, I know, okay, some things are going to happen, right? But when they happen, I count it as, man, I see the good in everything. I have joy in when bad things happen because now I get the opportunity to make up for it. But sometimes that gets me in trouble because I want to make up for it right then. Right. But that's not
start pushing the envelope.
But that isn't allowing the perfect work to happen. Sometimes a good play is no play at all, right? But I view this in terms of the highs and lows. I view it from a baseball perspective. Okay, I play baseball. Y'all play baseball.
Growing up a little bit,
growing up a little bit.
Center field.
So you get in the Hall of Fame. You get in the Hall of Fame going 1 for 3. right? So it's a sport that okays failure.
Mm.
Like as a quarterback, man, what a great statistics. Man. I want to go 22 for 28, 378 yards with 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, right? 22 for 28 is perfect in baseball. If I told you, man, I went 22 for 28 this weekend with 8 doubles and 4 home runs and 3 triples.
Yeah.
Like that's unbelievable. But literally baseball terms, I can go 1 for 3 and make it in the Hall of Fame. That's a 300 average. So understand, like, man, it's okay to fail, but I got to make the most of my opportunity when it's there. I got to have a snap and clear mentality because I might have struck out this last at bat, but this at bat, I have a chance, right? And I believe that. Like, you can see that in the way that I play.
Mm.
I go out there with the approach like, we have a chance as long as there's time on that clock. But I think I know, understanding that, man, I need to play like for 4 quarters instead of just playing for that specific drive.
Right.
I need to play for that specific play, knowing that it's going to take me 4 quarters to win this game instead of trying to win on that one play.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem like just
It's like him
quickly
going back to
sitting
Aaron
there.
Rodgers and Russell Wilson. It's like eliminating things like, hey, the game's going to come
Yeah.
going one play at a time versus, hey, I got to be Superman now
Right.
in the next series.
Of all the people we've talked to in the short amount of time we've been here, it's like maybe the most intentional human being we've ever spoke to,
Yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
trying to find intention
Yeah.
in every single situation. You brought up baseball, dude, going 1 for 3 and being in the Hall of Fame. You had you were in a rare breed of athlete where you were able to choose whether or not you're going to go the baseball route or go the football route. What inevitably brought you to, I'm going to chase my football dreams? As opposed to
My
baseball
love for this
dreams?
game, my
Yeah.
love for the game of football, my love for the position that quarterback entails, man. Like, I think, like, when you look at a leader in general, I think the quarterback is that person that displays what true leadership is like, especially when you got a good one and when you got one that the team likes. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to literally be able to communicate to everybody in the locker room from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. Like, we have to be the people that can get in front of our guys. And you might be from Iowa, you might be from Broward County, and we got to make this thing work. All right. And the only way we're going to make it work is together. And that's the quarterback's role. The quarterback's role is to make all these little pieces work and go.
Mhm.
So I take pride in that. And let me tell you, when you're a PO and you watching other people hit and watch other people win games and you over there eating C's and chewing on Big Chew, it ain't no fun, man.
Big Chew's awesome.
You out of the action.
Yeah. Oh, I had something, but I just slipped my mind.
I got one. Before even Deshaun Watson goes down and you get your opportunity, there was even conversations before he goes down of putting Jameis in just because of the quarterback play that was happening. Walk us through this year, even before you getting to play. Like, how much were you having to be patient and persevere when even you might be on the side? Like, I know as a backup, somebody's not playing well. You're like itching for that opportunity and your time to shine.
Yeah.
But what was it like for you early in the year, especially when those conversations started to happen on, hey, it could be a move here to put Jameis Winston in the game?
Yeah, man. You know, I feel like God put me in the test last year with Derek, where, man, we would go out in games and our fans, like the Saints fans, like they booing, and I'm gonna have to sit in the meetings, and I felt like from the outside looking in, Deshaun's playing like he bad or Derek playing bad, but I felt like they playing good because when I'm on your team, I'm there to serve you. I'm not there to serve the opinion or listen to the outside noise. I'm there to make this thing work. When I tell all my teammates, like, if you're not trying to be part of the solution, you're not trying to win no games. I know that it's at the quarterback position, it's only one person that's going to be out there. One. Everybody else, you play left tackle, you had a right tackle. There's a left guard, there's a right guard. The center, the quarterback, they're the only ones that are singular out there. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be all in of serving Deshaun in last year's opportunity, serving Derek, despite the outside noise. Now, I also know that my opportunity is coming shortly, and I have to be ready for that as well.
Dog, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Because it's tough, too, because you talk about the dream. You want to lead a team to a Super Bowl. Like, you hear the outside noise and everything else, but to compartmentalize it and know that, hey, if you're not part of the solution, you need to get out of the building because you're part of the problem, or you're creating a problem, or some toxic poison that's in that locker room, which you know it has to be eliminated if you're going to be a good football team.
But Will, I started with this. What I want for myself, I want for everyone. So what if that was me? You know what I'm saying? Imagine how many people then talk stuff about me my entire life. Like now, they bite their tongue because they like, over time, the truth is going to set itself free. And I still tell Deshaun this. I'm like, brother, listen. You may be going through a season of adversity, but I promise you, you're going to make it out of this. Despite public opinion, despite what everybody's on your case right now. But if you don't give up and you just use the ability that God, because Deshaun Watson can play football. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that as fans that the Twitter thumbs have, they quick to judge somebody, they quick to write somebody off because the game that we play in the NFL, we have the greatest game of them all because every single year there are 256 odd people coming in to take our spot. That they're promoting this. Mm-hmm. They like, we are celebrating the people that's coming in to take your spot with the draft. And we're going to give them fake watches and free watches. We're gonna boost up the brands. We're going to take some of your deals and give it to them. Even if they don't make it, they might not get cut the first day in, but we telling you that they coming. So in terms of our mentality, it has to remain, we got to remain steadfast. We can't never lose sight of what we want. Because we know it's always going to be that next man up. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be somebody cycling around. Gucci Mane used to always say, like he's using the reference of his little flings. He would say, opportunities are like buses. Miss one, next 15, one coming. And you can look up the regular lyrics if you want to do that. But literally, you might miss the bus, but you got to be ready for that next bus to come. Mm-hmm. Or you got to be trying to bucket to get to the next bus stop so you can catch the bus. But if you don't want to catch the bus, then don't stand in the bus stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You talked about guys from Iowa, guys from all over the country going into one facility of 53 guys that should have one goal, and that's to win a Super Bowl.
That's it.
When you go into your rookie season, coming from Florida State, you win a national championship, like you've been in the tip top of college, and now you have put yourself back on the bottom of the totem pole. What trials and tribulations did you have maybe trying to push the envelope too much on how do I take leadership as opposed to earn the leadership? That's a very difficult thing because everyone says the quarterback has to be the leader in the room. Yeah. And to be a rookie immediately with grown men who have kids, 401ks, all of that, and you're walking for your first time and like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you need to be a leader in the situation. Where did you think you thrived, and where are some areas that like, oh, if I could go back, I would do that differently?
The places that I thrived was just bringing youth into the whole situation because I think even veterans in the locker room, they need to see someone who loves the game and instills that passion in them that they may have once had. Or they might just need somebody to help them, assist them into finding their passion back. And I know I did that to the best of my abilities. The thing that I feel like I could have did a better job at, that I know I could have did a better job at, was being unapologetically myself. The first few games at Tampa Bay, like when we used to lose, I used to cry. Mm-hmm. You know, I really used to cry. Like I hated losing. But along the course, I started to be okay with losing those games. And when I consider myself being okay, that's why I said, nah, I compromised too much. I wasn't me. Like I would never be okay with losing. But anytime, like this is like science. If you take a step backwards, that is going to hurt you way more than taking 10 steps forward. Because if you're consistently moving forward step by step, you're going to get farther. But the only time where you eliminate all chances is when you take a step backwards. And when you compromise who you truly are as a human being, you're taking a step backwards. So I tried to please everyone else. Like, I ain't going to cry. I know we just got beat by 20. I'm not going to cry. I'm just going to act like I'm happy. But I'm acting like I'm happy and we just got beat by 20. Yeah. Like, that don't do nobody justice. Obviously, when you walk into the building, like the mentality that you need to have needs to be energetic, positive, so you don't bring anyone else down. But you can't be okay with losing.
Right.
And that's the part that I felt like before I got to the NFL, I never lost. Like I didn't lose really, you know, not really. We always won. And I think that's the part in the NFL that is limiting me from getting to where I want to be because I don't have enough wins, you know, and like, early on in my Tampa years, me compromising to being okay with losing, I think that impacted my wins leading up to this point, up until now.
Why do you feel like you started to be okay with losing?
Because everyone else was okay with losing. And I had to be that person to make sure that they knew it's okay. You know what I'm saying? We just need to fix this. We just need to do this. We just need to do that. Instead of being like, nah, this ain't okay. We have to do this. It's required for us, not what we need to do. Bro, this is a requirement. If we want our jobs, if we want to be everything that we want to be, it is a requirement that we give all we have in this game. It is a requirement that we understand that winning is just as contagious as losing. And I don't think people understand that.
Yeah. When that first game of your NFL career, I was obviously on the other sideline.
Yes, you were.
Second year in the NFL.
Yes.
And there was always this back and forth about who's going one, Marcus or Jameis. And then so like the media is essentially establishing a rivalry between the two of you. Did you feel that rivalry going into that game or through the combine process, the interview process?
I definitely felt it throughout the combine process, man. Me and Marcus was training at the same place out in Carlsbad, prolific athletes with Ryan Flaherty. And
Carlsbad's such a great place.
It's
to train,
beautiful.
dude. It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Too,
and we were out there at the same place, and like we would show up, and like we never would work out together. Like literally, like if I was in the building, like he was either leaving or he was gonna go somewhere else. Like it was just never the brotherhood that you see the 1 and 2 typically has. You know what I'm saying? It was just like you over there, I'm over here. Like let's work, but I ain't trying to do it together.
So no conversations took place because it's such an interesting rivalry to me because both of you guys are such good people.
But I didn't tell you the good part.
I was thinking the same.
Like
I was
they're
thinking the
both
same
like,
thing.
I didn't tell y'all the good part.
Marcus
though.
never said a bad thing about anybody ever.
He's
No,
got the
never.
good part.
I didn't tell you the good part.
I know,
the good
but I'm still
parts.
trying to drag the audience out a little bit.
No,
Jameis Winston and Marcus hated each other. Man. It's crazy.
We never hated each other, bro. We just like Marcus was always the quiet person among us two. So I know I probably could have been extra in times I was around him. But last year, man, I took time just searching like who can I train with, and I took the accountability of going out to Oregon, going out to train with Jimmy Ratcliffe, who's a longtime strength coach at Oregon, just because I was focusing on my speed and agility. So I went out there, and my chiropractor Eric Gorman is from Oregon and loves Oregon. So he was like, "Hey, let's go out here because he's the best." And Marcus was out there. So that was the first time in 10 years we actually trained together. And it was such a surreal moment because Marcus was the one that was showing me the exercise. I was like, dang, like Marcus, you done had this upper hand on me this whole time. I'm out here. Like, you could have been put me on, dog. Like, like what's going on? But it was such a respectable moment because, you know, I got a chance to meet his wife then. And I remember him playing soccer with his wife at Prolific Athletes. Like his mental was already ahead, like to focusing on his family, his journey. Like he wasn't into all the things that I was into. He was focused on like, man, I got my family. I'm about to have this opportunity. I'm gonna focus on that. I was focusing on, man, I got this opportunity. I'm about to make the most of it, man. We about to win the Super Bowl, man. I just won the championship, man. It's unstoppable. And this the only person that beat me in my college career. So I know I'm gonna be better than him. Like, I'm focused from that lens, but he's focusing from from more of a creative mindset. It was like, I have my family, I have my gifts, I'm gonna go and steward that, and I'm focusing more from the competitive mindset. Like, I'm gonna be better than you, I'm gonna do this and that. And you can never have success focused from the competitive mindset.
Right.
You have to remain creative because if you're competitive, you focus on one thing and one thing open. But when you're creative, you're able to adapt, you're able to make a transition when the transition is required.
It's such a breath of fresh air because you talk to the normal thing with, I'll just speak for football players because what I remember is like, you always find something.
The whole squad.
I got some special guests. You know?
You always sit there and you're like, yo, I got a chip on my shoulder. And then you start to have success and you feel that chip on your shoulder kind of going away. But then somebody gets drafted ahead of you or somebody does what they say he's a better tackle than me. And it was like, that's all I needed to replant this chip on my shoulder. So like, did you and Marcus ever like 10 years later sit down and be like, hey, the way I approached the competition between us, I favor the way you did it over the way I did it? Was there ever that like transparent conversation between you two?
No, we haven't had our yearly heart to heart yet. No, we have not done that. But no, what we had was just a moment of grace, a moment of peace. I was like, man, bro, like I'm grateful you still in the lead, man. He's like, bro, I'm grateful, like you still in the lead. Like, bro, we did it. We living our dream together. So no matter what was our initial approach when we first started, we are here now. So let's focus on what we're gonna do moving forward. And when he had his great game in Washington, I shot him a text. When I had a few good games, he shot me a text. And that is a relationship that we never developed through the course of 10 years, but with maturity, with growth, with gratefulness and understanding that, man, it's bigger than me. I can't let this game get in between some of the relationships and from in front of the good people that I have in my life.
Yeah. You're known for your speeches. When was the first speech you gave? How old were you?
Man,
when you stood up, you're like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to stand up in front of this team and I'm going to deliver
Heart
something.
racing.
I don't know what it's going to be, but I got to say something.
Man, I always had something to say. So like that, I never been short winning the breath, you know, like, and I remember like the Bussin Tiger days where I'm like, man, we finna go and tear their heads off, man. These boys can't mess with us. I remember the murder, kill. Guess what happened? On the field, Bussin Tigers got crunk. The other team got stumped, you know? Like, that's just the way of the land. Like,
two white guys sitting here, like, yeah.
But I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, y'all probably was over there. Who are we? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's rip their heads off.
No doubt. We're gonna out bear crawl them today. Like, stuff like
Come
that.
on,
like,
brother.
No, y'all not. And we thinking like we kicking the door down. Boy, what y'all doing over there? You know what I'm saying? But honestly, bro, like I feel like the Lord stewarded me with a voice. And I felt like early on in my career, that voice was taken away from me because of my energy being put to trying to prove to everybody who I was. And when you are in a place of proving and constantly proving, you lose sight of your true growth. You lose sight of that true grace that you should give yourself. You lose sight of who you truly are because you so immersed with someone else is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And like one thing I love about about Jesus in general, like when I forget what chapter it was, but I know in Matthew 6:33, he talks about seeking first the kingdom of the Lord and all his righteousness. When someone is asking him, like, what two things should I take with me to be able to get into heaven? And he says, first, seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all things will be given to you. And the second thing he says, love thy neighbor as thyself. And when I get to that point, obviously, like everything I do is for my faith. My foundation is in the Lord. But when I get to love thy neighbor as thyself, when I be speaking to young kids, I be like, man, he says, love thy neighbor as thyself. So if you're not loving yourself, if you're not putting sweat, equity, and time into yourself, you will not be able to physically love your neighbor. You will not be able to physically serve someone else if you're not focusing on what you can do to be the solution for you. And that really just sit with me. And it encourages me every single day, like when I'm meeting new people, when I'm talking to my teammates, when I'm kissing my babies, is like, man, I'm about to love my baby as I love myself. But first, I got to make sure that my priorities is straight. I got to make sure that I'm doing things in an efficient way. I got to make sure that I'm acting and not just saying. I got to make sure that I'm doing all these things for me to be able to be physically and mentally able to love someone else and serve someone else in a capacity that I may want to be served in.
That's beautiful.
I know that's deep. You know what I'm saying? I don't be trying to hit y'all with Bible sermons, but it's just the God.
That's the second one this podcast.
It's touching you right now.
It's the God in me. You know, I think Mary
Has
said
it always
that.
came natural? Like whether it's your, trying to rally the troops in middle school, high school, has that always came natural to you?
It has always came natural. I've never been really lost for words, man. And I'm grateful for that. My dad has obviously he's been my coach coming up, and it was kind of a way for me to get on some of my teammates' butts because it was always my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like he was always trying to hype me up and like be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like he stayed on me. He pushed me to that maximum level. So I'm like, he gonna push me, like I'm gonna push y'all ass because y'all don't understand what I'm going through at home. Y'all just
Shit
at
runs
practice.
downhill.
Y'all just at practice. Y'all ain't in there blowing off them small cassette tapes. So for your daddy, because we got old VHS cassette tapes that we gotta put in a little thing and then put it in a VCR and then rewind it, and we sitting there watching tape of our little league games. I'm like, Daddy, like Does my Uncle Manuel gotta record all our games? Like, yes, you finna watch this tape. You about to see what you did. Why your foot went right there? Like, Dad, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to have fun.
Yeah.
So,
how old are you when that's happening?
man, I started watching film when I was 6 years old, man. Like, literally old VHS tapes, man. My dad pulling me in the back room, like, hey, man, you done with your homework? Yes, all right, come on in here. Like, literally, go give me that little tape right there. When they had the Liberty tapes, like the little cassette tapes that you would put inside the VHS. Because they ain't have
because you'd have the camcorder,
yeah,
take
you
out the little
take
tape,
out the little
put it
tape,
in the VHS,
put it in the little adapter, and then push it in there, man. Like, I was like, man. And then, Little League tapes, my Uncle Manuel up there, God rest his soul, like, he just see me scoring a touchdown, the film over there, go Jaboo, I'm scoring a touchdown over there. I'm like, Dad, what am I supposed to be looking at right here? Man, shut up, I hit you in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dad, I'm just saying, obviously it was a touchdown, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't about the touchdown. You can't get a touchdown until you got a first down. Did you get a first down? Like, but I got a touchdown, Dad. So how many first downs was the amount of yards that I had to get a first down? But no, I credit my dad for like really giving me that voice, man, because he was always encouraging me to, one, be accountable for what I'm doing, and two, if you see something, say something. If you feel something, say something. Don't just sit here and look at me and tell me, I was finna say this, but you know what? I ain't want to say it because I thought you was gonna get mad at me. Who does that help? It don't help nobody.
Yeah.
That's a massive piece of advice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? So 6 years old, you're watching film.
Yeah.
That's
like
so
we all,
funny.
I think every human being goes through that rebellious phase in their life, 13, 14, that testosterone starts to hit a little bit different.
Yeah.
You start focusing on girls a little bit more. You start getting more rebellious towards your parents. How did you handle, did you ever have a rebellious phase with your father or anybody?
Man, one of the toughest times in my life was 2019, man, when I felt like I was growing as a man, as an individual, but my dad was going through some pains. I lost my grandmother, his mother, the year before, and my uncle died on my birthday. It was just an early phase of COVID on my birthday of 2019, and it was tough for him. And that was one of the first. Well, he died the next year, but he was battling sicknesses and stuff, and it was tough for him. And he decided, he was like, I'm not gonna go to any of your games. And like, I'm okay. Like, okay, if we playing New York, you know what I'm saying? He don't like flying. I get that, but you're not gonna come to any of my home games. He was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna come to any of your games. And it was the first time where like me and him was like bumping heads. I'm like, hold on now, like, man, like this one is my contract year. Like, two, like I need you now more than ever. You know what I'm saying? You've been in my life. I'm fortunate to have a dad in my life, and you deciding not to come to my games. This whole time, I found out that my uncle was sick. After that, like he just was going through it because of his mom, and I've never seen him in that way, and he didn't allow me to see him in that way until I was down bad. Until until I'm going into the Bucs facility in the middle of COVID, training my butt off, like knowing that the world is shut down, but I see signs of TB12 being built in the middle of COVID. I said, now how in the hell are they able to build a TB12 in the middle of COVID? and nothing is announced yet. But I'm going to the facility still. I'm like, man, I'm going to get a chance to work with Tom Brady. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. And then breaking news, Tom Brady has just signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm just sitting there like, I knew that TB12. There don't nothing happen by coincidence. Like, I'm sitting there getting my life, and I'm going through it with my dad. Like, I just been broke an NFL record with 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Like, ain't nobody gonna ever break that ever. They're not confident enough. But man, I just had this, and at the same time, like me and my dad, we going through it because I'm like, man, like this is my biggest year ever, and you not there for me. But I look back and I was like, man, I wasn't there for you either. Because, and sometimes in African American communities, like, yeah, we have a dad present, but we're not consistently communicating with our father all the time. It's through sports, it's through discipline, where we are communicating with our fathers. We never sit there and have the quality time because our fathers are either grinding or out to have just a heart-to-heart conversation, and that's why I take pride of like sitting down at a table with my wife and kids and saying like, man, if you could change anything about the world today, or like, what would you change? Just giving them that authority that like, you can speak to me about anything. I want to know what impact are you willing to make into this world And I do believe that my relationship with my dad has grown since those 2 years, just because we actually had to see each other both in down stages, and we didn't want either of us to be in that role. But there was things internally that we both was facing that we had no choice but to confess and come out with, because we both were in a down bad situation.
Question for you with your dad. Oh, he has to roll. Damn.
Okay.
We'll get him in. What's you got me curious now, because obviously your dad was hard on you in a great way. I mean, it led you to be the player that you are, the man that you are. What are you, as you being a father now, everything you've learned from being, fathered by your dad, how do you approach fatherhood with your kids, knowing like, okay, they never did sit down and have the tough conversations or have the vulnerabilities, or when you're sitting at dinner and everything else? How has your dad raising you helped you be the father that you are? Whether it's, I'm going to take the things that he taught me, and also I'm going to do things a little bit differently, against the things that I feel like I did not get from him as a kid.
Well, I'm so blessed and grateful that the time and the support that my wife gives me with my children, of how on top of everything she is. Like, I think it's truly a blessing when you have a partner that's like down for you. And I'm lucky because I met my baby when in our junior years in high school. Like, we've been high school sweethearts. We done went through everything together. Like, we done literally grew together like inches. We done grew together. We done had heartbreak. We done had upsets. But man, when I view my kids and I know I'm loving her and I'm willing to sacrifice and provide and protect her, when I'm looking at my babies, I want my babies to do as I do and not do as I say. So when I'm with them, I'm intentional with my words. I'm intentional with my actions, because I want them to be young men of action. And right now, like, they 6 and 4 anyway. So what I'm really saying, they really probably not listen or hearing me. I know one of them definitely not listening or hearing me. But I do it with simple things. I engage with them by what they want, because I want my babies to know what their heart truly desires. Because I always knew, well, honestly, I wanted to be a foot doctor, but I always knew I wanted to be an NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Plan B was foot doctor.
You know what I'm saying? Plan B was a podiatrist, because of the woman, Cynthia Hobby, who inspired me to be a foot doctor, because she was taking care of my grandma's feet and my dad's feet. So that's a long story. But anyways, for my babies, man, I just want them to do as I do and not do as I say, man. And I want to continue to be this man of increase. And I want them to see me encountering with other people and leading other people, so that they can know, like, hey, this is just what we do. This ain't no facade. Like, my daddy is the best daddy in the world because of his actions, not because of what he say, not because what he necessarily tell me or write down in his journal. I think that's an important part too. I got my receipts. I keep my journal. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm writing stuff down, like, I'm like, I'm gonna read this. My 6-year-old son, he'll sit there and read what I just said. So now we doing tangible things. Like, man, what you writing that down for? Like, shoot, I wrote down, I'm kind, I'm grateful, I'm confident, man, because I need those affirmations just as much as you, my son. Okay. So you talking to yourself. I'm like, well, yes, I'm talking to myself, but we have the ability to speak life into ourselves. He's like, so you still talking to yourself though, Daddy? I'm like, but it's okay to talk to yourself. We actually talk to ourselves more than anybody else. And he's like, okay. And you don't understand the impact that you're making, because they're still processing.
Small brick by brick foundational
Yes, it
pieces.
is. It's
I
a
love
process,
it.
man.
That is awesome.
It is, dog.
As two guys with kids as well, that's awesome to hear. That you're doing everything you can.
I know y'all doing the
inside
same
and out,
thing.
man.
He's got boys.
I know.
Y'all got girls? I'm praying for a girl.
Two girls.
I
So
got
you'll
2
love
girls.
them.
Yeah.
They're the best. But
I'm
I
just
would love,
praying.
But you
I would
would
love
just
an
like
heir to the throne.
Yeah, the throne. The throne.
I just need one.
We got to get you out of here. So we
Yeah.
have a Twisted Question. It's obviously brought to you by Twisted Tea. 5% ABV, non-carbonated, goes great at tailgates. You're at the bar with your buddies. You're at somebody's basement having a good time. Watching
Goes down
Jameis
smooth.
Winston throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. No one will ever do that
33
again.
touchdowns.
33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
Mm.
This question is so tailored to you. I hope you embrace it and you love it. It's halftime. The 3 of us, we're down 3 scores. We got to rally the troops. What are you saying to the boys at halftime? Coach looks at everybody, says a couple of words. Jameis, bring them up.
Hey, y'all, it's 0-0. What happened already happened, but it ain't nothing that we can do but act now. Let's act now. Let's get busy. Let's go out there and let's dominate the line of scrimmage first. And let's make sure that we execute in the red zone. We're going to get down there. I'm going to throw it all over their butt. Let's make sure that we are populating the football on defense. let's make sure that we are attacking the football on offense. I'm talking to y'all receivers because I'm gonna let you get it. All right, here we go. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3 team.
Beautiful.
Love
Beautiful.
that. Brother,
Beautiful.
thank you for your time. This
For
has
real.
been incredible. Legitimately. Thank
No, I
you so
appreciate y'all,
much.
man.
It's
Yeah.
been a minute. We've been wanting to make this happen for a while now. I've been talking with Joe. But sincerely, thank you for coming
No,
on,
thank you,
man.
brother. I'm grateful for you. Thankful.
Yes, sir.
All right, Taylor.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.